me now. You guys can hear me.
Oh,
I can hear you.
no,
Yes,
yes.
All right.
I can hear. Yes.
you.
When I turned on my GarageBand, it was
Hijacked.
not cooperative. Yeah. That's
Phil,
all
I
right.
saw a request for Satan to come back. Is he gonna make it?
Look at that. I am constantly asking for Satan to come back, but CJ refuses to do it because it requires him to do work.
It does.
Yeah.
What if we could do it on demand?
See, how you doing that? What do you have set up for that?
I got a Go XLR mixing board a while back.
Oh yeah?
So
Well, send it to me.
Sure. I'll leave it for you in my will.
Good. Okay.
Right.
You don't need it sooner, right?
I mean, now that I know it's there left for me, I guess it's up to me at this point how soon I want it.
Yeah. I mean, Satan could claim me at any point. I have no idea.
See, the problem is if we allowed Phil to control when the Satan voice happened and didn't happen,
Phil would not be on the show anymore.
Constant. There would be no show.
Phil quit the show.
It's only Satan.
Be
now.
replaced by our Dark Lord.
Nothing but.
You get a different demographic for a while, maybe.
I would hope so.
You think?
That's right. Yeah, the dark web.
Fine.
The darkest web.
That's right.
The kind of satanistic poop jokes that
you could probably do other filters on that mixing board there too, and that would just derail Phil entirely.
You got like a robot in there, probably.
Oh yeah.
See. Oh man, look at that! Listen to that.
Bring it down. Hey everybody, we're gonna be doing some robot voices.
Oh.
How much does one of those cost?
Enough. It'd be enough for the Patreon. The Patreon could cover it.
Patreon.
CJ, there we go.
That's an easy fix.
There we go.
We'll do it.
This is it.
We will do it.
Oh man.
You got a microphone that'll work for it too. We'll get you an XLR mic or an XLR cable.
One. Yeah, it just needs the cable.
Just plug it in.
Yeah.
Done.
Perfect. We're all set.
Done.
I'm excited about this bold new direction. Rejuvenating the show after nearly 800 episodes.
On-demand voice mods.
Breathe some new life into it.
You got to have a soundboard up too so that you can play clips.
That's true.
Yeah. Get our morning zoo going on.
I have friends that know how, so I could get some information. Could work
cheap. Also cheap.
The one sound, the two sounds.
All that matters.
Dun, dun, dun.
You still got Ethan on there?
I prefer to buy everything in store if I can. It's just easier.
Of course I do.
Oh my god, that's great.
That's a Black Friday drop if there ever was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Too
Perfect.
good.
Absolutely perfect.
All right, let's get cracking. Let's do
Okay.
this thing.
Crack-a-lack.
So we don't have to clap this week since we're not.
No, I did the clapping just now. Didn't you hear me?
Well, I did, but that reminded me that I don't get to. I don't get to clap this. Can I clap
No,
anyway?
you don't. You don't have to.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Nailed it.
That wasn't very good. That wasn't a good clap.
Well,
Sorry.
it's hard.
Really?
Didn't have the countdown. Didn't have the countdown, you know?
Didn't have the countdown there. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 780. Starting over.
Look at that. See, you got cocky.
This is why we clap.
He makes a point.
Hello and welcome to episode 785 of the Player One Podcast for Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me as always from the great state of Washington is Mr. Phil Theobald.
How you doing?
Good, sir.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing swell. I'm loving life. Living
Loving life?
large. I found out,
What?
I'm in the great state of Washington these days, but I used to be a few years ago in California, in the Bay Area, specifically in Walnut Creek, over on the East Bay outside of San Francisco. I found out that there was a flash mob heist in Walnut Creek last night. as we
A
are
flash
recording.
mob heist. How does a flash mob heist work?
So I lived right off of downtown Walnut Creek. I had an apartment just off of downtown, and I was a 5-minute walk from the downtown area. And when there's like like a fancy outdoor mall. It's all, there's like
an Apple store,
Tiffany's and the Apple store and a Nordstrom, which is what got hit. And apparently late last night, but still like during shopping hours, like a couple dozen cars showed up in downtown Walnut Creek, pulled up all around the Nordstrom, blocked all the roads. Tons of people poured out of these cars with crowbars.
Whoa.
Charged into the store while there are customers and everyone shopping, and just started grabbing stuff off the shelves, started breaking open display cabinets, swiping jewelry and stuff, swarmed back out to their cars, boom, drove off.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I've never heard of this as a thing.
Well, and apparently it had happened because I popped on Twitter last night and I was, what's trending on Twitter? I says to myself, because I'm a social media maven, and Walnut Creek was trending. I was like, well, that's unusual. But apparently the night before, the same thing happened in San Francisco proper at a Louis Vuitton store.
Oh,
So there's a ring in the Bay Area going around.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Doing these flash mob heists. So
Sounds
There
like
you
something Kim
go.
Kardashian would do.
she organizing it.
I think so.
She started dating that sleazeball from Saturday Night Live, and
that's
now
sleazeball.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Pete Davidson, is that his name?
Davidson.
Yeah.
Davidson?
Yeah.
Davidson, yeah.
That's what
I don't know the
tattoos
guy.
will do to you. Turn you into a sleazeball.
There it is. He may be a nice
Yeah.
guy. I don't know. I don't know the guy. But
I don't either.
yeah, see?
Really
I've
weird,
come
though.
I've come to enjoy his stuff more
Yeah?
very recently. Yeah.
Good.
You know, the big thing with him, a lot of his stand-up, he based around the fact that his father is one of the people who perished in 9/11.
Oh gosh,
Using
is that
one of the
see,
towers?
now I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
bad.
So no,
I
that's
feel
kind of
bad.
he's been riding the trauma wave and depression his whole life. So he's
Okay.
a big advocate for mental health and
Oh well,
that
see
kind of
now I
thing.
feel bad.
no.
I gotta
Call him a
Don't feel
scumbag,
bad.
Phil. You
I
don't know
gotta-
him.
I gotta
You don't know him from Adam.
I
Talk
gotta
smack.
rework my opinion here. I gotta do a little more research. My gosh.
I can't
There we go.
definitively
Wow.
say he's not a scumbag, but
Phil, you're okay you're justified in having your opinion. You have a Twitter account.
Okay.
It's okay. You're
It was
allowed to have your opinion.
It was uninformed. It was an
That's fine.
uninformed opinion.
It's also
so-
Twitter.
Yeah, that's also true.
yeah.
So anyway.
Also, I think in the chat we're being accused of being part of the heist.
What?
That Phil knows an awful lot of inside info.
look,
True.
look. I can vouch for my whereabouts last night. I was nowhere near the Bay Area. Okay. I got receipts from
see.
several Taco Bells in the area here. So
Several Taco Bells. You went to multiple Taco Bells to cover your butt.
you're
Is that
driving
how it went?
you're driving around. Oh man, I should have picked up some of those cinnamon twists at the last one, and then,
Oh,
Forgot
you're
my
driving-
gordita crunch wrap. Whoops.
yeah, you're driving home. It's man, I could probably use another Baja Blast to wash all
Gotta
this
get
down.
that Baja Blast. What's the
You know?
new one that they got going on there right now?
They got something new there?
Last time I was to it was months ago, but yeah, there was a different flavor going on.
Oh
for a
no,
minute.
I didn't. Oh well, okay.
Yeah, it was another
go back.
exclusive. I
Oh.
think it was a frozen concoction of Mountain Dew.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
See, this is how you know that the people at Taco Bell know Phil so well that he doesn't even have to order. He just goes straight past the actual menu
Mhm.
and right up to the window, and then
Yeah.
just buys. He just picks it up right there.
Yeah,
It's
Me,
like
I'm back.
reverse Uber Eats.
You got it.
it's me.
How many fire sauces you need, Phil? How many you got?
How much traction do we need on your Twitter account to get the Phil Theobald meal branded at Taco Bell?
A lot.
It varies, It's the days come and go.
Yeah.
It's 2 Baja Blasts and half a chalupa.
Pour
should
those 7
mention-
layers right in the Baja Blast. Let 'em
Greg
soak for
Stewart
a
not
bit.
with us this week. In his stead, we have 2 special guests.
That's all right.
From Ice Cream Social, we have Paul Mattingly.
Ahoy hoy.
Ahoy hoy. And from the Keel Hall podcast, we've got Captain Logan.
An additional ahoy hoy.
Ahoy hoy.
Okay. It's more thematically appropriate for you.
Technically.
Ahoy.
I see that we're both wearing Sea of Thieves shirts. Right here too.
Look at this.
Logan.
Yeah.
Wow, look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
When CJ says we, you can guess which
Which
Yeah.
we
two
it
people
is.
he's talking about.
The
Yeah.
one with captain in his name.
Exactly.
We'll narrow that down real quick.
Narrow that down.
Although I fully approve of Paul's choice of headgear. So
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that just for you.
anything that helps my annual bonus, I am all for. So
Just for you, Phil. Just for you.
thank you.
We're gonna talk about that this week, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
that's why I
at
thought,
least you and I will talk about it. I don't know. Some people can't talk about things on podcasts.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Exactly. All right. So let's get into some video game headlines from last week. There are a couple things that I want to go over. First of all, Rockstar has apologized for the state of the Grand Theft Auto trilogy release that they put out.
Did they put
And-
it out?
They did, yeah. It's a beta. It's a beta. Work in progress, early access.
Yeah.
This game from 20 years ago. Yeah. So they are
Oh,
going
headline:
to work-
CJ calls out Rockstar as betas. Wow.
They're going to apparently work out the bugs. And
Uh-huh.
the first patch they've already released that fixes some of the rain effects that people were having issue with.
Okay.
And they've also added the old games back to the Rockstar launcher on PC. And if you buy the new ones on PC, if you own those, you get the old versions as well for free.
Let me
For
ask you this.
free.
I know, right? What do you think the percentage of people who have purchased this new collection who did not already own the old ones? I'm guessing it's low.
It's probably low, but I bet you there are a lot of people who came in through GTA 5 and GTA Online
I
who
can
have
see
not
that.
played, who didn't grow up with these games.
I could see that, I
Probably
suppose.
picked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the versions that they took down a couple weeks ago in anticipation of this new release, right?
That is correct.
Because they didn't want people buying the older,
That's right.
theoretically cheaper
But only on
versions.
PC. Like the
Okay.
mobile versions of the old ones and the rest, I think, are still down.
Okay.
But this is only through the Rockstar launcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feels a lot like what Blizzard did with World of Warcraft 3. Like
Mhm.
this is something they outsourced to a different company. The other company didn't really port this that well. They tried to rebuild it in a new engine, and it's just not that great. And
Yeah.
it's kind of a shit. Like why wouldn't Rockstar get their hands on this and do it themselves? Like,
But
if
also
they-
QA had to have known, right? Like
I-
QA had to have
Right.
known the state that this
Yeah.
was in. It's
You
just
can't
somebody
play a
at the
game
top
and not
wasn't listening.
see. Yeah, you can't see in the rain. Like what?
yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like this was in a rush for anything that they were trying to tie in marketing wise. So as far as the actual release date for it, it seems really bizarre. Like why, if you know what you're getting and you know what's going out and it may need more time, why not just sit on it for a little while? What's the rush? Just
It's
No.
got to just be a Black Friday holiday chat cash in, right?
that's true. That's fair.
Yeah, that or
Yeah.
two of the games were added to like Game Pass and PS Now, GTA 3. So I wonder if they kind of had to deliver in order to do that.
Oh,
yeah.
that could have
Yeah.
been. And
Who
I think
knows?
it was,
Speculation.
unique that it finally came to a Nintendo platform. That was the big selling point
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
It's
Very
a shame
true.
Rockstar doesn't have enough money to really be able to sway the marketing deals on these. Postpone it or something. It's a real shame.
Right.
Man.
Well, this is where we start to get into arguments with emulation, right? And Nintendo's guilty of this as well. With the new expansion pack, the 64 ports not running as optimally as they have even on previous Nintendo hardware, right? Which is
Yeah.
bizarre. So when do these companies start to embrace the people who are on the forefront of emulation, and try reach out to these people, hire these people who know how to make a mock-up of their old consoles to make software run properly.
I mean, I think they did that in the Genesis pack because M2 did the work on those Genesis things for the expansion pack. So that is one example of, yes, a company was already contacted to do that work. Why they didn't do that for the N64, I'm not sure. And there's N64 emulation has gotten really good recently. So yeah, not sure. But speaking of old games being played on newer hardware, as part of their little Xbox 20th anniversary video last Monday, Microsoft announced that they're adding over 70 titles to their backwards compatibility program. And some of those include the entire Max Payne series, the Fear franchise, the entire Skate franchise. You got Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Star Wars Starfighter, Otogi, which is another fan favorite. The original Nier is now compatible. So a lot of games just now compatible on the Xbox back compat program.
No Jet Set Radio Future though.
No Jet Set Radio Future. That's a big omission.
Maybe the next batch. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping beyond hope that the next batch of backwards compatible titles will feature Jet Set.
I have some
Radio
bad news for you, Phil.
Future. What's that?
They announced that this would be the last update that backwards compatibility was getting. So just throw those Jet Set Radio Future dreams out the window.
They'll buy Sega. It'll be fine. They'll buy Sega. They'll get all the IPs. It'll be fine. Okay. We'll get it.
I'm going to be surprised if they ever buy Sega, but
I mean, they could.
Because then they get the pachinko business as well, and they don't want that, right?
I mean,
like
there's a lot of things.
Video game.
There's a lot of things Microsoft has.
Well, it's probably true. Yeah.
Look, if they can kill Mixer, they can kill pachinko. It's fine.
Possible, do you think Nintendo would make the jump for Sega first with all that crossover love that they get with Sonic? Because that there's just a really solid chunk of kid-friendly stuff through the Sega that meshes so well with what Nintendo's brand is all about.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Yeah, I would actually argue the opposite, because I think they want to keep their IP holistic. Like they want to, like if you want to think kids titles, you go to Mario, you go to Zelda, you go to Pokemon. That's
but then again, isn't like one of the fan criticisms of Nintendo that they don't have enough adult franchises? They could have Yakuza right there.
Oh, they could have Streets of Rage.
I've been on that eShop. I've seen a lot of visual novels. I think they're fine for mature content. Nintendo's solid.
My daughter was searching the eShop for puzzle games this afternoon, and she told me I couldn't find any puzzle games, and some of them were inappropriate for. Just like, probably a lot of that happening.
Getting back to the idea of, we were talking about ports for past games and bringing them forward to future consoles or current consoles and stuff. With the backwards compatibility, a lot of these are getting auto HDR, FPS boost, things like that. Is that a better approach than trying to shop these out to other studios to try and like bring them forward on new engines? Or like, do we just need to bring these games forward and add some of these features to kind of make them available? Is that the biggest thing? Is that people just want them to be available? It's like Phil, Jet Set Radio, like you just want to be able to play it, right? Doesn't this seem like a better approach than trying to resell some of these past IPs and these past games and like collections and definitive editions and anniversary copies and stuff?
I think it is. I think it'll be very interesting going forward too, because you can patch all this stuff now. And, in the transition from the last gen to the current gen now, we've seen, Sony went back and improved Ghost of Tsushima, but it was they did a director's cut as well. And they did like 60 FPS patches for a bunch of games. Like, it'll be interesting if that becomes the norm. Like if they will go back to a game that came out at launch, and instead of doing a remaster, they'll do like a we're going to bump it up in resolution or fix the frame rate problems or add features to it. Be very interesting to see.
I think that's what I
So
want.
before that,
I think I just want games to be made available. I'm not necessarily like it'd be great if games got improvements. Especially I think the biggest thing is adding the ability to like remap buttons, making sure that subtitles are on there. Like if you're going to go in there, start looking at some of the accessibility features that are missing from those past games that we've learned a lot about since in the last 5 years even, and try and add those to the games so that people that may not have played them in the past or not been able to might have an opportunity.
Yeah,
maybe a better way to go.
I think some of the biggest opportunities are taking games that were made like in the early 2000s and improving the usability of those things. Like you go back to some of those games and they were pretty clunky. Like if there's a way to like add just like Rockstar did, where they added the GTA 5 style controls to the definitive remasters that they just put out. Like that's a good idea, but also, hey, don't add all these bugs and problems
right
at the same time.
I've been able to enjoy so many older titles just having the rewind and save features.
Yeah.
I mean, that has had me playing games that I never finished. Just that little, and nothing else has to change.
And you start doing
Button
that with
mapping
3D games, and all games become Blinks the Time Sweeper, and it's just a paradise. It's a utopia, really.
Do you think the Braid guy, Jonathan, what's his name, is going to sue everybody for that?
Jonathan Blow.
Not unless EA buys him and his IP and they patent it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure EA has a budget for Blow.
Show title. Yes, and so a lot of titles also got FPS boost and auto HDR. I have HDR turned off on all my consoles. I don't use it, but I know some people like that. So
you guys have a pretty good background on playing games. I missed a lot of really good games from these generations. So are there ones that I should jump into that are just like, regardless of genre, I really, really should just check out?
Oh, like the Xbox games that have come forward?
Yeah, sorry, I should have specified. Because they talk about like Max Payne and Fear and Skate and Nier.
I never
and
played those games.
Where's the list? I don't know the list.
The list.
I'll
throw it in
Put it
chat.
in the chat. Yeah. Because that's why I have my 360 as one of the older consoles that I still regularly boot up and play.
Yeah,
I say regularly, once every 3 months or so, but that's because it has a backlog of some real quality titles on there.
Yeah.
So
I've heard that because I'm looking at the list now. There's the 50 Cent game.
that game is great,
which I've actually heard is good.
It's
I've heard
really
that's a fun
good
game.
It is.
Yeah. I've never.
Here's the thing with that.
What's that?
So a lot of these games, they're added to backwards compatibility, and you can buy them digitally. You don't have to have the physical disc. The 50 Cent game, apparently you have to have the physical disc. It's not available. You can't buy it now.
And isn't it like kind of rare and pricey at this point?
Well, I don't know.
It's not super pricey, but it's mid-tier. It was mid-tier when I got it.
Okay.
I think I ended up getting it for like $25 back in the day.
Okay.
Because I was late to the party. But it's solid game, and it's ridiculous. It's so dumb, but it's super fun.
So I'm looking at the original Xbox games that are in back compat, and Psychonauts is good. Conquer Live and Reloaded is fun. Crimson Skies is good. Panzer Dragoon Orta.
Crimson Skies.
Paul?
I used to play that so much. Yeah.
Be glad you picked up 50 Cent Blood in the Sand when you did.
Yeah.
I'm looking at eBay right now. There is a copy with 28 bids currently.
Yeah.
That is $202.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, that's the 360 version?
That is the 360 version with 6 days left in the auction.
Dude,
what?
And this is the guy who got rid of all his physical stuff except 360.
Oh, look at that.
I still have about 100 physical 360 discs and about 250 games on a hard drive for that system that I bought through Xbox Live Arcade. I have a ton of games for that system. That system replaced the Super Nintendo as my favorite system of all time.
Nice. Yeah, see, I'm looking through some of the completed auctions, and it looks like $30-$40 they were going for.
Yep.
And then
kaboom.
And then the day after the backwards compatibility announcement, all of a sudden they're going for 150.
That flame will die out. That flame will die out after
because it's
a while.
not available on digital. You have to get the disc.
That's so gross. But that's also a big problem too, and I guess that's probably connected with the music stuff too, right? That's why we can't get a proper Crazy Taxi, because unless it's got the Offspring screaming at the top, it's really not Crazy Taxi. Tries, it's just not quite there.
No.
All right. Well, let's continue talking about announcements from Xbox's little 20th anniversary thing. They're doing a documentary about the making of the Xbox that comes out in mid-December. You can stream it. So that'll be interesting. Little look back at the history of the Xbox. Yeah, and definitely. They announced that the Halo Infinite multiplayer beta launched that day, the same day.
Oh, yes.
So this was a rumor we talked about last episode, but they actually did it. They launched it, and it's live now. People have been playing it. Microsoft has a huge number of concurrents on Steam. Like, they seem to be doing really well with it. It didn't have the launch problems that a lot of online multiplayer games have. So I'm sure we'll be talking about this a little later in what you've been playing.
Turns out people like Halo.
Turns out, like, quite a change from the Xbox One generation where people didn't so much. But hey, that's good. And also, talking about Microsoft success stories, Forza Horizon 5 had 5 times the number of week 1 players that Forza Horizon 4 had. And now they're up to something like over 10 million players on that. So that's huge for them. So I know it's doing really well on Steam in addition to Xbox.
Continues to impress me, that game. Every week I jump in and I just drive around like an idiot, and it's so much fun, so beautiful. It's hard to believe that this is something that's available on the original Xbox One.
I know. I wonder how it plays. I wonder how the load time is on that. The original VCR looking Xbox. TV. And they announced last week that cloud gaming has now been added to console. So via your console, whether it's an Xbox One, a One S, a One X, or a Series S or X, you can play games via the cloud instead of installing locally.
This was pretty big for me, because living in that Xbox ecosystem, a lot of the time they have those rewards that you can do for Game Pass and stuff, and a lot of those rewards are like, play such and such a game, and it's like, okay, cool, so now I have to allocate time to be able to download the game, or at least download it like via the Xbox app, which is it's fine, but then I have to start like managing software on my Xbox because I haven't got one of the little cards. So having the ability to do the cloud gaming just right off of any console that I own now, it's great. I'm going to get 25 points or 50 points, and all I have to do is just boot it up on the cloud real quick, and it's as easy as going into an app on my phone. So that's going to be great for folks that are diehard in that ecosystem. If you just want to jump into something like play Halo Wars for X amount of time to do X amount of things, or I have no interest in playing Conan Exiles, but I'll boot it up for the reward points, and then I never have to look at it again. So I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, and it's good also just for sampling games too. Like you have a night where you're like, oh, I want to play something. You don't have to wait for the install. You can just go ahead and boot it up through cloud, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
huge convenience factor. And I tried a couple games that I loaded up Destiny 2 and The Forgotten City via cloud, because I don't have either one installed locally. Destiny is kind of a big install.
Oh yeah,
quite a chunk of your hard drive space. And it booted up perfectly and played fine, almost indistinguishable from having it installed locally. I think the only difference is the resolution. So it maxes out at 1080p, but honestly, that's going to be fine for most games. So
I'm curious what you guys think, if this is something that should be opened up to games that you purchase digitally as well too, because right now it's limited to just Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. But would there be a time where if I purchase a movie on iTunes, I can go and watch that movie whenever I want? It's not downloaded on any device that I have. It's just purely streaming, just like a Netflix system. If you buy a game on Xbox through digitally or on PC, would you guys want to have the opportunity, like if you haven't been playing that game for a while and you're not subscribed to Game Pass, to just be able to start streaming that game even, as you own it?
That would be great.
It would be.
Nice.
I think it's just unfortunately the way that these IP change hands and the rights switching around between megacorps prevents that possibility from ever. I mean, that's why physical media is still physical media, right? Like that's the it would be that would be an awesome thing to work out somehow, but it'd have to be some omnicorp that you could just get a microchip inserted and scan it on whatever new console that comes out and said, no, I paid the $18,000 to make sure that I could play every game forever into the future.
Yeah,
And
and
I mean, that's the thing. I think it'd just be such a premium, right? It'd be so expensive to make that work. It'd be awesome.
Well,
it'd be awesome for the future. I don't know if they could do it for past games, just because they'd have to go back and renegotiate all their publisher deals. They probably would have to go back to everybody and say, hey, we have a new agreement here.
Yeah.
And get everybody on board. And that might be more difficult than you'd think. So
I was looking very briefly at the games list again, and I'm not for sure, but it looks like Mortal Kombat 9 is in the mix there. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
So that's one that they have kept out of the digital store for a long time.
Did
at least on the PlayStation ecosystem. You couldn't buy Mortal Kombat 9. You could only play it through their pass.
And that's the one that's just like technically it's Mortal Kombat, right?
That was the reboot.
Mortal Kombat.
9 was the reboot. Yes.
It's a good game.
That was a fun game.
A new wave of success. It's a very good game.
Yeah.
And I still own that one physically too. But I was trying to buy it. I was trying to get a bunch of Mortal Kombat on my PS4, and I could not buy that one. I was really bummed because I have X on my thing, even though I own that physically too. Yeah.
So Paul, I know that you are not an Xbox ecosystem guy.
Not currently.
But clearly you have a lot of Xbox 360 stuff. You have a love
360 was my favorite console. That's why I do want to get back into it.
Yeah.
This generation, and I'm looking at an Xbox S in the coming months as my go-to purchase. I'm still not clear. The messaging is still not clear to me yet on external hard drive support and size limitations for memory storage and all that kind of thing. Because I'm cool with going all digital at this point. But
then you have all those physical games you couldn't play via backwards compatibility.
See, now you make it good. Well, but I still have my 360, so I don't really need him.
Oh, well, that's true. But then you can't take advantage of FPS boost and auto HDR too.
Well, I mean, but I there's not even an option to buy an X right now.
That's true.
That's just
these are still hard to find.
Impossible to find. I tried so hard. When I would have pulled the trigger on that Halo system if I could have found it, because I had a original Xbox Halo version, the green bad boy.
Oh, nice.
I had one of those things modded out way back as an emulation machine decades ago. I loved that little system. Yeah, that was what a brick. But that was one of the things I got rid of before I just made my move out here to PA.
Oh man. Well, I know from my personal experience, I've got a 4 terabyte external drive that I've just got a ton of Game Pass games downloaded to, and I'll regularly swap it from my Xbox One X to my Xbox Series X depending on where I want to play, and it picks it up just fine. It takes a couple minutes for it to read like what games are there, but as soon as it has that information there, I can play any game that isn't labeled as a Series X or S game off of that hard drive, no problem, and it plays just fine. So
that's good to know.
Yeah. The only
and
caveat
no problem with that large of a size.
No, it recognizes it completely. And I've even got like little USB drives. Like I've got a 215 gigabyte flash drive hooked up in it. Like it's purely just a Destiny 2 Sea of Thieves stick. That's just for swapping between my 1X when I had that as my like primary and stuff. So it's works just fine. They've done a really good job doing that.
I still have a bunch of those for my 360, a bunch of little thumb drives that I have a couple of games on. But yeah, so I trade around. I wonder, since I have an external for my 360 filled with XBLA games, would they recognize that?
I think so.
Oh, that's
I don't
interesting.
think there's I don't think there's a problem with that.
Oh.
That would be, because I've got a 1 terabyte from 10 years ago with 250 XBLA games on it.
Oh, geez.
So that would be worth the money.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who probably has a bunch of those XBLA games and a Series X. I'll bug them and get some information.
I'd love an answer on that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. Because I am thinking very seriously of pulling the trigger on an S pretty soon. And then, like you say, CJ, it would be a bummer to miss out on those disc games, but I have enough on a hard drive that if I can use that hard drive, that's even a real bonus.
Totally. All right. Well, Warner finally announced, this had been rumored for a while, that they're doing a fighting game called Multiversus. And it is a Smash Brothers style fighting game. It's going to be free to play, where you can take control of your favorite Warner and DC characters and fight it out Smash Brothers style. So 2v2 matches are what they're talking about. Now they had a sort of overview trailer, and they've opened up the official website. They are signing people up for playtests coming soon, and the game's going to release in 2022. Have you guys seen this, and what are your thoughts on Multiversus?
It's just exciting to see Shaggy in a new game.
Matthew Lillard getting some work.
I always like to see Matthew Lillard get a paycheck.
That's right.
Zoink show.
I mean, that the whole game is kind of the result of, because there was like a Shaggy meme going around the internet a while ago where it was like, Shaggy was like a Dragon Ball fighter or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's the Ultra Instinct Shaggy, which I think that's the meme.
How long ago was that meme?
Not terribly long ago.
So here's the thing, Phil.
Yeah.
Was that meme naturally generated by the internet brain, or did Warner plant that as a subtle trick marketing?
Yes.
Excellent.
There it is. Is this your conspiracy theory that you believe?
This is let's put this one out there today. This is my one for the day.
This is the new one. That Warner seeded Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
Companies are seeding memes now.
There it is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But they have, Adventure Time characters. They have Tom and Jerry. They've got Superman. They've got Batman. They've got Arya Stark. Yeah, exactly.
You got the Game of Thrones. You got Bugs Bunny,
Steven Universe, Superman,
Yes.
Harley Quinn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why Arya Stark of all characters?
Well, maybe she uses the face change thing and becomes a bunch of. Maybe she's like Shang Tsung.
I figure your Game of Thrones characters are going to be like the Fire Emblem characters in Smash, right? They're just going to that's going to be their place.
Another Game of Thrones character with the swords.
Paul's not wrong. I would love to joke about Paul's idea, but one of her special moves is Face Stealer.
There it is. Look at that.
So, they thought of it.
Face Stealer and dagger to your face.
I'm glad that it's included in the game. Been nice if they'd included it in season 8, but I'm bummed.
What is season 8? Was that a thing? I thought they stopped at 6.
Yeah, they pretty much did. Yeah,
okay.
Let's remember that that's actually what happened. Thank you for the reminder.
As far as the multiverse game, for one, I'm just surprised this hasn't been something that more and more companies have been trying to do with their IPs and stuff. Like the Smash Brothers game, genre works. and it works really well. I'm surprised this is like like the two this year are the ones that have really stood out. Have there been a lot of these? Because I feel like Smash Brothers has kind of dominated the market as far as like
Well,
these
Sony
brawlers.
tried
Yeah, Sony tried
Yeah.
theirs,
PlayStation All Stars.
and then
There's the
now
Nickelodeon one.
now
Yeah.
Nick doing theirs and Warner doing theirs.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Like,
Yeah,
All right.
where's the
Yeah, for
Disney
now.
one?
I think
Where's the Xbox one?
I think probably what happened was Sony tried theirs and it didn't work, and that probably
Yeah.
scared off a lot of other companies.
Mm,
And then
I could see
That's-
that.
As far as the Disney one, that just won't happen because they don't like their characters beating each other up. The miracle of Sora being in Smash, I still can't get over that. You know, and I mean the whole thing with the Keyblade, that was their answer to actually having a weapon.
yeah.
You know, they tried to make it as chill and kindly as possible.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really surprising to me. But I'm interested to see how this goes. Are you guys big Smash players? Like, do these have any? No.
I love Smash.
Paul does.
I love Smash.
Yeah.
Now I don't play competitively, and I very rarely play online, but I love that game. But it's more for, it's kind of, to me, it feels like an extension of like my action figure collection.
Yeah.
It's a way, especially the latest Smash. My goodness, and the attention to detail. This is what I think people miss about Smash. Is if you're doing a Smash style game, are you going to do the level of research and callbacks and inside jokes and history that you know they're going to do? With Sora really puts the work in, you know, and
yeah,
it's a history lesson if you want it to be. It can teach you about video games, in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? That's just that series to me feels more like video game preservation than a lot of things. So there's a really cool chance. I don't think it's going to happen, but Warner Brothers could drop all kinds of series knowledge and connect the dots, wild stuff from their franchises if they wanted to, into that series, and that could be very compelling. I don't know.
Just looking at the website that they've set up for this, all of they're taking a lot of the cues from Smash Brothers. If you go into like each character for Smash Brothers, it shows you like their first appearance and stuff. Looking at some of these, like Bugs Bunny, creator Tex Avery, first appearance, a wild hair, July 1940. It's got its special moves, a little bit of a description. So they're trying.
Somebody's listening. That's good.
Nice.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, you know, they can put all kinds of creative stages. That'd be, you know, that's cool.
Man.
Yeah, maybe there's some hope there. That's cool.
I like this sort of new, and this has really only happened in probably the last 10 years, where licensed games aren't automatically bad. Like it used to be early 2000s and before, people didn't take the time to make a good game out of licenses. But now, like, you see a lot of this stuff that, you know, even that Nickelodeon game, people actually think it's a pretty good game. It's not immediately dismissed, where I think this too is you know, it's got a shot if it's a good game.
Well, it's not just a license, it's it's the company, right? So it's a lot of licenses, so there's a little more writing on it, but there's also a little more freedom.
But then here's the thing, it's a free to play fighting game. What are we going to be paying for in this game, right? Are we going to be paying for
extra
unlocking characters?
I mean, that seems like the obvious one, right?
It seems like the obvious thing, but then are people like us who might just want to like hop in and play as a bunch of different characters? Is that going to be enough for us to like pony up some money?
Yeah.
Is it going to be one of those games that requires you to spend like $280 to have the game?
Oh,
in a complete
I hope
form?
not.
Right.
I hope a lot of that stuff is cosmetic.
What's that?
Kevin Conroy's doing the voices. For
Kevin Conroy's doing Batman. Tara Strong's doing Harley Quinn. Matthew Lillard's doing Shaggy. They're putting John DiMaggio's doing Jake the Dog. This is they're putting some real money behind some of this. Just getting the original voice actors and stuff. They're trying to find some information on how they're going to be. They haven't said anything as far as like the in-game purchases, but they do admit that they're going to be in-game. So I would actually say that they're probably going to put it towards like cosmetics and stuff, you know, different
I
There's
would hope
tons
so.
of different Superman and Batman outfits and Wonder
Right.
Woman. Lots
Well,
of different things.
Yeah.
Warner Brother has a team that knows how to do that from NetherRealm involvement. From the second Injustice and the latest Mortal Kombat. Those are if you want to spend money, you can spend some money
Yeah.
Yeah.
in those games.
Well,
I
and a
did a
lot
lot
of
of
these-
grind, but boy,
And a lot of the, the fighter roster are, main characters from these series, but I wonder if they're going to take like a fighter pass approach like Smash Brothers did, where
Mm.
like additional characters from those series will be paid. So here's the initial roster, and then you can pay to get the Joker or anybody else from Batman, or you have Tom and Jerry, but if you also want the dog whose name I can't remember, Spike.
Yeah.
Oh,
Spike.
Yeah. No, the Tom and Jerry dog. Yes.
The Tom and Jerry dog. Yeah.
Droopy? No.
would love a foghorn leghorn.
Or,
Be
Oh
great.
my gosh, yeah.
Uncle.
That'd be fantastic.
What was it? Uncle Pecos? Was he the Tom and Jerry?
Marvin the Martian.
Who needed a guitar
Yeah.
string?
Yes.
Bone.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Froggy
that's
with
the
a
special
heated
move.
ride.
Crambo.
Yeah, the special move is the action pauses and he comes out.
and he tears a whisker off your face.
Yeah.
Man.
You think if they get Ned Stark in the game, he'll die in the first round?
If they use Sean Bean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting Maisie Williams, so they're
Oh, well,
going
there
all
you
out.
go. All right.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, I was thinking of other attempts at kind of the Smash Brothers thing, and there was that anime one that came out for
Jump Force.
Well, there was Jump Force was the
Jump
recent way.
Stars. Yeah.
Yeah, there was Jump. Yeah, was it Jump Superstars or something?
Jump
Yeah,
Stars.
for like-
I imported one for my
like the DS,
2DS?
right?
Yeah, the old
DS.
DS, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Way back, yeah.
yeah. And then there was one for it never came out over here. It was Japan only, but for like PS2 and GameCube, Dream Mix TV World Fighters, which was a Smash Brothers style game, but it was all Konami, Hudson, and Takara.
I remember seeing something about that. Wasn't that not too far off from the time when we got Tatsunoko versus Capcom? Was in
I
that
think
same
so, yeah.
window?
Yeah, it was
Because
kind of
that
around
was
there.
That was when like
That was the Wii.
Japan was like going
Oh yeah, that was Wii. That's
They were
right.
going
That was Wii.
combo. So it was before that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
way
'cause
before that.
Because this one you had like Simon Belmont and Bomberman and Optimus Prime.
That was
fighting
I was
each
gonna
other.
say was it a Transformers one?
It did it had Optimus Prime and Megatron were the
Oh,
two,
boy.
and they were.
Ooh.
It was crazy because they were styled to look like the action figures, like the old G1 toys. So
That's so cool.
and one of the stages was like basically you were fighting on Devastator. Like they had just a massive Devastator, and you're like jumping on his limbs and stuff like that. But you know,
Wow.
you're like, the little baseball player from those old Konami like Famicom baseball games and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hope for the best on this this new game. I am a little nervous that it's free to play, but let's go. I would love playing Smash if it plays well.
Yeah.
And it's got cool info and costumes and inside jokey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's
You think
go.
they'll do like a year's worth of support guaranteed just to kind of see how things feel out and then kind of go from there? Or do you think they're planning long term for this?
Well,
would
what's
hope
their
so.
plan? What with the Mortal Kombat and the Injustice titles? What is it? A 5-year window, 4-year window of support now?
Mm.
Because
Well, they supported the more recent Mortal Kombats with DLC for a long time.
Yeah, I mean they just announced that like 3 months ago. They said now this is it, as far as like any major upgrades, we're done. But that was a long time. That was like a 4-year run. So they, like I said, they have the people who know how to stretch this stuff out if it's working. I don't know what their metrics are for judging that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're dependent on this game to keep their studio afloat, thankfully.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could play around with this.
Are they going to have characters from the Matrix in there?
Ooh, can we just get a Matrix
Oh.
game?
No,
I
it'll
just want
never
another
happen.
Matrix game.
It'll never happen.
That'd be really interesting to see, though.
It would be.
Who
Don't dash my
knows?
dreams.
All right, I think it is time to get to what you've been playing. Let's have Paul go first.
Okay. Well, I've been playing Cruisin' Blast
Man,
on the old Switch. And I know you don't have it yet,
Mm.
CJ?
No,
I gotta
I'm
play
waiting
this game.
for.
None of you guys have it?
Hopefully it'll be 50% off or I'm waiting for a deal.
yeah.
Chances are. I mean, it was 40 at the jump, and I love these kind of games, and you do too, CJ.
I do.
So I wanted to support them at the jump, at the full. I wait for deals on a lot of games too, but this was one I was like 40, okay, because I'd heard great reviews, and it's my kind of game, and it's great, super fun, and still having a great time with it. I do wish it had button mapping.
Oh, it does not.
not have button mapping, and it's really frustrating because it makes no sense why they put the boost and stuff up on the little bitty triggers instead of the actual triggers
Oh, really?
on the
Oh,
Switch
weird.
Pro. It's
Hmm.
very strange. It's very strange because the other buttons don't do anything.
Oh, really?
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's not like no, it's
No.
not like it's not like they're blocking off some other functionality. It really does bug me. It really does. And the
Yeah.
fact that you have to hold down A for gas and whatever.
That's old school.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah, but it is old school. It's still a really fun game. Highly recommend it. And yeah, if that goes on sale during this whole holiday time, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Snatch that up.
I think
That's
it's already on sale for the physical version. It's been on sale.
Oh, is it really?
But the
wouldn't
digital
surprise
version
me.
has still not been on discount. So that's what I'm
Hmm.
waiting for.
Sure.
Now,
But yeah.
Paul,
Yes.
I did get an email, like, was it earlier today or yesterday, from Nintendo letting me know that one or more items on my wish list just went on sale.
Oh,
One of those games that went on sale is Ramp Car Jumping.
Oh,
Which,
ramp car jumping,
last
ramp
time you
car
were on the
jumping.
show,
Yes.
you were going off about this game. Previously,
Best,
$10
worst game.
49
It
cents.
should be $1.99, right?
It's $3.14.
Still,
Is that
it's
a
worth
little
it. It's worth it for the experience.
Okay.
That's a pull the trigger price.
Okay.
That game is astoundingly weird.
ramp
Okay.
car jumping.
Ramp
Yeah.
Car Jumping.
As you gain power and open up your motor,
Yeah.
you can just literally infinitely increase your power ability
Yeah.
to where not only will you complete the jumps, but you will fly forever. You will just get
that
to a point
seems fun.
like I'm at a point where I go up in like to the moon.
So this is like
Literally to the moon.
so
there
you
is
go
a-
off
there is-
ramps just to see how far you go. Kind of thing.
Well, sometimes you have to land on things.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a target.
Okay.
So you had to jump and get into the target zone,
Mm.
right? But eventually you just get so powerful that you will just go. And there's a level that is on the moon, and you can replay that when you have your power really high and the gravity's lower, so you can just go.
Okay.
Do so much weird physics stuff. Do you remember that game that came out eons ago for the 360 where you were smashing cars and jumping into a dartboard?
Oh,
Remember that?
I remember the
Stunt
dartboard part.
jump or something like that?
Yeah, I forget the name of it, but yeah,
I can't remember the name of the
the
anyway.
dartboard. Yeah,
So
it's
there's
definitely-
some of that. There's some of that in there. There's like 20 bonus levels that are really tricky to kind of figure out. I obsessed over this game for like a week. It really sucked me in. For 314, you need to
No.
experience ramp car jumping.
Okay. Okay. I'll have to throw in
Looks
my
like
free-
this is a mobile game port, so it's also available
Oh.
on like Android and iOS.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
Janko-rific, looks like hot trash, but is so much fun. Just
Interesting.
dumb. Dumb
Man.
game.
Okay.
Dumb game. Yeah. But Cruisin' Blast is a lot better than Ramp Car Jump.
That's good to
But
know.
I think you can do button mapping and Ramp Car Jumping.
Well, on the Switch, you can at a system level remap some buttons. So
No.
yes,
Don't.
You
It's
can
not
do
even.
it.
Every time
do
I wake up my Switch, it's like, hey, did you remember that thing you did like 15 minutes ago? Did you still want that? Because I feel like you don't want that.
Yeah, that's not a real solution, CJ.
Nah, you're right.
It's a shame. It's a
Maybe
shame.
they'll update Cruise and Blast.
They
Give you that option.
I wish it
They
would
should.
be nice. They absolutely should.
Yeah.
The other game that I've been playing, which was a Halloween purchase, I got myself a copy of Fatal Frame: Maiden of Black Water.
Oh.
Yes.
Aha.
Anybody
Nice.
playing this one?
No.
Not yet.
Any of you guys Fatal Frame fans?
I have never
Yes.
played a Fatal Frame game.
All right. So
Really?
Logan does like Fatal Frame. See, he knows. He knows.
Fatal Frame is great.
Yes, it really is. And I've been so it's another one that I bought right out the gate without a discount because it was reasonably priced. I think it was at 50. Maybe 49, 45. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's hard to get Fatal Frame games here in the States. There's a lot more in Japan than we ever saw here. They translated a few of them, but you want to talk about games that have gone up in value. Do a quick check on some Fatal Frame games there, Phil. I think you'll be shocked at what some of those are going for.
Fatal Frame 2.
Yeah.
Fatal Frame 2 was amazing.
So I have great fond memories of playing those games with my friends when the original Xbox first hit and just creeping ourselves out. It has great atmosphere. It's finicky, but all the Fatal Frame games are finicky. I'm playing it on easy so I can actually progress and move through because I'm not a guy who demands that I have difficulties in my games. I'm having a good time with it. It's the graphics aren't super high end. It still looks like it could be played on an original Xbox in some ways, but it's got the atmosphere down to a T. And as someone who spends a lot of time on YouTube just watching dumb haunted ghost hunting videos,
yes,
it's a fun. Logan, are you a ghost hunt guy?
Oh man, I love that stupid stuff.
Me too. I don't know if these guys ever told you, but I'm a Vegas kid, and for the first 3 months of operation, I was the lead tour guide over at Zach Baggins' Haunted Museum.
Oh, that's so fun.
So I got to work
Oh my God.
with that place, and that really tickled my itch for all that crazy stuff that I do have a fondness for ghosty stuff as well. So yeah, Fatal Frame really does scratch that itch. It is creepy. You are taking pictures of ghosts killing themselves. How does
that work?
It's to start. Well,
How does a ghost kill itself?
It shows the old memory of the ghost.
Oh, okay.
How they died.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not like a ghost committing suicide because it's like where do you go?
But it is. It is.
but it is. Okay.
But it is. It's an echo of and like ghosts will pop up for 8 seconds, and you have to quickly grab your camera, take the picture before they fade. As you're exploring the main game, you're also having to occasionally just anytime you open a door, anytime you go around a corner, you sort of have to be ready. Oh, I better be ready to grab the camera and quick flash, grab an image because you never know when you're going to catch. Yeah, I just saw. I mean, there got lots of hanging dudes, and just had a guy jump off of a ledge, and then his spirit took over your friend who was with you, and you had to fight this other evil. It's pretty wild. It's kind of. I mean, I'm having a good time with it. And like I said, Logan knows if you're a fan of that series, you're not going to be disappointed in the slightest. It's totally on par with the other games. Finicky controls, not the greatest movement system and all that kind of thing, because that's just what it is. If you know what the game is, you won't be disappointed. Yeah, I'm having a good time with it. Give myself a few good jump scares.
It sounds kind of like just in terms of the finickiness. and just kind of playing through it. It like kind of reminds me of the Disaster Report series, which
A little bit. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
a jank filled
Yeah,
series, but
it's not nearly as janky as Disaster Report.
okay,
It's
because
not
Disaster Report is super janky,
Very janky.
Disaster Report is the ramp car jumping style. It's not that janky. No. This is a very
Okay.
polished game.
Okay.
But it looks like a polished game from a decade ago.
Gotcha.
It could pass for that if you weren't really. But there are some features. You had to get your head around the controls because there's a lot of different functionality, and you have to change up camera. You have to change up film, the different film that you get. So it's sort of like Resident Evil, except that you're carrying everything with you. But you do have to do some juggling. There's a survival horror element to it. I am playing it on easy, so I can there's lots of health items around, but I do have to keep replenishing myself from ghosties grabbing me. This one's got an interesting thing now in this version. So when you're leaning down to pick up an item, in that moment, a ghost can come up and grab at you. And you have to be ready every time. So every time you go to pick up an item, you have to be ready to disengage right before a ghost may or may not grab you, because it's random when they show up during your picking up item animation. So it's got some cool little stuff like that. Yeah, I'm like I said, having a good time with it. I'm glad Logan knows about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really like it's anyone that's been checking out like on Steam or Twitch the Phasmophobia game. It feels like Phasmophobia pulled a lot of its essence from like Ghost Hunters, but also Fatal Frame. Like you set up cameras, you can only see ghosts through the camera. You have to try and complete objectives through that. And Fatal Frame does a really good job of taking like the essence of like Japanese horror films, like Ju-on, I think is what the name is.
Yep, that's the one.
Grudge, yeah, and taking that and like putting it into a video game that has just nothing but Japanese culture just like wiped all over it. And
that's you're absolutely right. It's extremely Eastern. Like when you're watching that game, you're like, yeah, it's very steeped in their kind of ghosts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see. All right. That all you've been playing this week?
Pretty much. Those are the two. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Logan, you are up, sir.
I've been dipping in and out of a lot of stuff. I figured now would be a good time to jump into Halo Infinite because they've been playing a lot of multiplayer. I think I'm like 13 hours in to that, and just been jumping in with friends, having a heck of a good time. I think that the thing that I think a lot of people have been wanting to hear other people kind of echo is the battle pass progression right now. I think they've had a lot of issues with the battle pass and how they designed it, because it's not nearly as rewarding as any other battle pass I've ever played. Any other thing that you do in a game that has a battle pass generally contributes to that. This one is like purely based off of challenges, and it's a real shame that they're doing it that way, because you don't feel a sense of progression when you get done with a match. And I feel like they're really missing out on the thing that makes free to play games so much fun, so worth jumping into. You've got a really good free tier for people that aren't buying into the battle pass. They're getting enough to where they feel like it's worth actually working your way through that progression. And with Halo, it just doesn't have that. I'm level 6. I've got 2 items, and it's taken me 13 hours to get to level 6 in my free to play game, and it's tough.
I'm not even level 2.
Yeah.
And I have not played a whole lot, I will say, but I'm not very good at the game for another. But,
I'm not going to be. I'm terrible. I'm trash. But
yeah, but you know what the weapons are. I'm like, battle rifle, please. Yeah.
But it's but the gameplay is there, man. Like the gameplay, the atmosphere, the music, the sound, like they've got it. They've absolutely killed it as far as the actual gameplay goes. They're tripping up on the battle pass, and that's going to be the discussion behind Halo multiplayer. But man, like 3 for 3 has just absolutely killed it, because I've been playing through the Halo MCC, the Master Chief Collection, and as someone who had like an Xbox at launch and then had like an Xbox 360 for a hot moment, I missed out on a lot of those Halo games. Like I played through 1, I played through part of 2, never played 3, Reach, ODST, 4 or 5, any of those. So I've been going through their catalog to try and catch up on like how these are, how they've been playing. Do they still feel good? What holds up? What doesn't? I've found that my opinion has varied a lot compared to what other people's have been in the past. It seems like there's a lot more reverence for certain titles compared to others. And man, compared to Halo Infinite's multiplayer, the way that they've designed the feel of the game feels modern. It feels like a Call of Duty it has kind of paved the way for how first person shooters should play. And Halo Infinite is doing that. They've got like the clamber down, they've got the weapons, the equipment's amazing, got grappling around stuff. It's as satisfying as swinging through New York City in Spider-Man. Like it feels like it's got a weight to it. It feels like it's actually reeling Master Chief, this 8-foot tall dude, through the air as you're getting ready to like barrel down on someone with a shotgun. It's great. It's absolutely great. They've just barely missed the mark on the battle pass there.
The few clips that I've seen of that look really exciting with that feature, especially.
Oh yeah.
It's
really
like rocket
reminds me
jumping now, right?
It's the
new tricky technique that people are going to be able to, because like I've seen them, they shoot a vehicle, and while the vehicle's exploding, you grapple onto that shrapnel and get carried off. Like that opens up all kinds of crazy possibilities.
One of my buddies who was in chat, Mr. Badbit, he put a clip out where there was a hover jet like in the air on one of the multiplayer maps, and it was those things just wreck people, because you got to get a weapon that either shuts it down, or you're just going to have to try and continuously pump rounds into it before it goes down. He grappled onto the side of a giant cliff, and then while he was like up in the air, he waited for the cooldown for his grapple again, and then he grappled the wasp that was in the air, threw the other dude off out of it, and he fell to his death, and then started like killing people on the ground and I'm like,
that's amazing.
That's such a fun moment. It's such a satisfying feeling to be able to do something as crazy and outlandish as that. And that's what the beauty of Halo is, man.
It was always that multiplayers with friends. That's the joy of that game.
No.
So that's been an absolute blast. And
it's a shame though that the season 1 is like 7 months long. So they have the season progression that they've had to divide over like a 7-month period. That's an awfully long time for a free-to-play game season.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to see just how their season unfolds, because initially, like, they're doing this Halo Reach tribute where they're bringing a lot of the suits that the Spartan team in Halo Reach wore, and then they've got a samurai version, which the samurai stuff looks awesome. It looks like, if you've ever seen like the figures where they've got the samurai version of Darth Vader, it feels like that. Like it feels like when you get a Spartan suit and it looks like it's old samurai armor influenced. It looks amazing. So I don't know.
That's Todd McFarlane's influence right there. He's just looking for figures,
right?
which I'm cool with. Let's go.
Let's
get some more toys.
100%. I would love to see
Samurai Master Chief.
Yeah, love to see that. So I'm very curious with it being a longer season if they'll introduce different armor types, because I mean they can do whatever they want. They don't have to say like, oh, this content we would love to get this content out sooner, but we're saving it for season 2. It's like, just put it out. Just, throw it in there. Who knows? Who cares about any pipeline schedule and stuff? But yeah.
Did they update the Master Chief collection? Because I'd heard a lot of bad things, negative stuff on the original release of that, pre-patches and whatnot. Did that improve the games that you've been going back and playing, the old ones?
From personal experience, I don't know because I didn't play when it first came out.
Right.
The state that it's in now, the only issue that I've really had with it is it's really tough to jump into a campaign with friends. Going through and just playing it solo, it's been amazing. It's been absolutely worth it. Playing through Halo 1 and Halo 2 anniversary editions is great. 3 looks great. I was really impressed with 4. Didn't expect that kind of a game coming out of 343, and you can definitely see that they've tried really hard to try and kind of honor that legacy. But yeah, Halo Master Chief is really nice. I really enjoyed it, and all the seasons are there. So I've just been dumping any of the points that I earned from playing through campaign into unlocking cosmetics that I'll probably never use. But if you want a one-stop shop for jumping into any of those games, like it's a really good game right now.
And that's on Game Pass. So
yeah,
if you do end up getting an Xbox Series S, and if you get Game Pass, you'll have access to all of that stuff.
Dude, I'm gonna have to, because Halo holds a very special place in my heart. I 4 was the last big one, right? Was there a
there was
5?
Was a 5.
I'm playing.
I'd never played 5.
I'm playing through it right now. I'm about halfway through 5, and it's the story isn't nearly as strong as 4 was, but it looks and feels great.
5 is the one where it's the reveal was Master Chief walking through the desert in that robe, and they were trying to do a fake out, right? Remember the preview? And he's walking around in the robe, and he takes off the robe, and he's got this, and they come out with a figure of him in that robe, and it's just this big plastic chunk over top of a Master Chief.
Oh man!
I just always thought 5 lost me at that preview when they were like, "Oh, you're trying to be so clever, you're hiding Master Chief in a robe." There's no advantage. His suit is whatever. That's was funny. Okay. Yeah, but if it plays well on this new system, that's great, and I'm really excited for the new game, of course. Yeah.
That was what I was, because I have one of the LG OLEDs now that everyone uses as the TV to be playing consoles on, and they updated MCC to have the 120 hertz. So playing at 120 frames per second with these old games just is so smooth. It's so much fun. So that's been really good.
Woo.
Also been playing Forza 5. Forza Horizon 5 is such a beautiful game too. So been playing a little bit of that, still working through the seasons. I remember I think it was last week, CJ, you were talking about the DeLorean. Did you end up getting that?
I did. I got it from the auction house. I just bought it for 96,000.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, that was nice. I was working through the Forza-thon to get my DeLorean. Now
I needed that DeLorean. That's like the only thing I wanted out of the entire game. It's
yeah, it's a really nice vehicle. So yeah, just been playing that. I've been working my way through It Takes Two, which everyone was talking about. It's a really good game. Like, gotta say,
nominated in the Game Awards, right?
I think so. Yeah,
for a couple of things.
Really sets apart. Like, I was really surprised by the split screen, because you're so used to not being able to see what the other person is seeing when you're playing a multiplayer game online. And the fact that your screen is split with the person that you're playing with, it really does change how you play games, because you can really kind of like start looking like the old thing we used to do when we were playing GoldenEye. You're not supposed to peek at the other person's screen. It's totally encouraged with this game.
Did you ever do the cardboard box taped to the CRT?
Not in my house.
Oh man, some of my friends went to that length, and I'm like, guys.
Wasn't there a company that put out like a
monitor
cardboard contraption?
No way.
Had mirrors in it.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure I remember that being a thing.
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's so funny. But yeah, It Takes Two is a really well done game. It kind of harkens to what a lot of the modern day platformers have, but built in that 2-player cooperative thing where you do have to communicate with who you're playing with. But even if you don't, you kind of understand the mechanics well enough that when you're actually playing through them, I know that I have the thing that puts down a bunch of sap, and my partner has the fire, so they can shoot little matchsticks that light the sap on fire. So I know like these are the things I need to shoot and get that prepped so that the person who's shooting the matchstick can automatically like do the thing that they're supposed to do. So they've split what would normally be like really, really fun guns and like Ratchet and Clank. If it has like multiple alt fires and stuff, it's taken those and then split them apart between the two players. And now you're working in conjunction. It's like, it's just a really well done game. And
One thing that I found in the game, I started playing it with my daughter, is that you really need to be a gamer. Like this isn't a game that you're going to get your like non-gaming partner to play with you, because the timing on some of this stuff, you really need to be in sync. And honestly, like I think it's a benefit for the game overall, but it's not going to get your casual gaming person into games.
Yeah.
They're going to get frustrated with the control, I think.
And it's a shame too, because the story itself deals with a parent couple who are in trouble with their marriage, and the daughter makes a wish that gets these two back together, and they get transformed into these two little dolls, and then these dolls are going through these weird kind of twists on reality about like the environment of their house and their yard and stuff. And you think like, oh, well, this would be a perfect game for me to play with my spouse to get them into gaming, because it's a cooperative game about a relationship. And it's like, this would be a lot of fun, but it does not cater nearly as well as it could to gamers to try and build up that language of how to play a video game. I think you'd be much better off with another game that's like New Super Lucky's Tale or Ukulele or something to kind of teach them and then get them to that point where they're comfortable jumping into this.
Yeah.
So, and then the last thing I wanted to touch on is Uncharted 1. Buddy of mine's playing through that. I've never played through the Uncharted games. This is my first foray into it, and I'm kind of curious.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I said, I missed out on a lot of games. So
okay.
I've been playing through that and playing through the Nathan Drake collection, and really just kind of surprised at how interested I am in getting into that game, because it feels old, but the story is interesting enough that it keeps me going. I don't know how we used to play games with aiming and firing on the L1, L2 shoulder buttons. It seems insane when you have perfectly good triggers. But yeah, I've been playing through that, having a good time. Really surprised that that it took me this long to get into that. But I was kind of wondering, should I stick with Uncharted 1? Does the story matter with 2, or would you guys just kind of keep going?
You can move on to Uncharted 2. I never finished the first one.
Really?
No, I never did.
Jeez, I finished. Yeah, I finished the first one. The stories. I don't think the stories really.
Not really
cross over a lot. I mean, characters get introduced and stuff like that, but it's. I don't think there's anything really super plot heavy.
No, and then 2 takes out things like the gyro balancing across logs and things like that. You don't have to do that in 2.
The gameplay in 2 is a fair bit better than 1.
Yeah.
I did the same thing, went back because I never played the Uncharted games either. And I got stuck on a jet ski in a ruin in one. And I was just like, I'm lost. And so I haven't gone back. So I might jump to 2 next time I fire it up, just based on what you guys are saying. Because there's a lot of weird little gimmicky stuff in 1 that just it's just frustrating. Controls are frustrating.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Definitely, I think 2 is where they hit their stride on that, and 3 is really good. I liked 4 and The Lost Legacy are both great games as well. So
I'll be interested to see how those end up. One's been interesting, but Paul, I definitely run into a couple instances where I've been running around and I'm like, everything looks very similar. I'm not sure.
No, it's very hard. And part of me I'm just like, why can't I press map button? And you know, and it'll tell me where to go now. That's a good
Right.
thing on the new Fatal Frame. And again, I'm playing that on Switch. There's a button you press, and a ghosty will walk and they'll show you the way, the main path.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
that's
clever.
So if there's, you're
I
never
love that in
lost.
games.
I do too. You're never lost. You press the button, ghosty
Yeah.
goes around. That's where I'm supposed to be going.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
I've
is
had to
how
go.
I finish
Cool.
games like Guardians of the Galaxy, because
That's
they have a
exact-
button you can press that says
Yeah.
go this way.
There's twice that I've had to go to the YouTube to figure out a puzzle
Yeah.
that then became fairly obvious. So it hasn't been super tedious. But again, there are those little moments where you're like, because it has some of those original Xbox roots, man. It just hasn't shaken it all out yet, but it's
Yeah.
still good creepy game.
That's crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing. I need to get back to Guardians of the Galaxy, honestly. I really did enjoy what I have played of that.
It's so good.
I can't wait. I had to skip your
Paul,
guys' spoiler thing.
Have you
Oh,
have you
yeah.
bought this game yet?
Not
Have you-
yet. I know the sales are coming. Well, this is my problem. I'm still just moved in, basically. Things have been very hectic. When I say very hectic, I mean very hectic. Like, it's been stupid, the amount of life-changing events that have been happening around me for the last 3 weeks. But soon I'm going to get my PS4 back out of storage and hooked up to my giant TV, which is covered in moving boxes right now. And that is on the priority list to get that Guardians game from the high praise that I've heard from you guys and a lot of other people. I follow Maximilian Dude on Twitch. He's one of my favorite Twitch guys. He focuses mostly on fighting games, but he plays whatever's fly. And so I watched the first 10 minutes or so of gameplay on the Guardians thing.
Mhm.
And that alone sold me. And I was like, okay, I'm out. That's why I haven't watched any of your guys' spoiler stuff, because it's, and I don't know if you guys looked any further, but at the beginning, when you're listening to that album
Yeah.
in your bedroom, apparently that's a full album.
Oh yeah.
It is, yeah. It's on
Yeah.
iTunes,
It's like 10
Yeah.
songs. Yeah.
on Spotify. It's
Hey,
great too.
You can just
That's
sit
what I'm
there.
talking
really
about.
good, dude.
Like when you go to that level of detail,
Oh yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Clearly, you had time to polish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is so good. I listened to the spoiler cast just knowing going into that episode that how I was going to finish it, and oh man, I need to get back to it. I'm waiting for a lull in like the gaming releases to kind of jump back into that, because
Not until like January. There's no lull.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. A lot of
fun.
people,
Yeah.
a lot
I'm
of
glad
people
I
were
don't have
talking
the new
about how
ones.
they didn't like the huddles. I actually really like the huddles. I don't know why.
Yeah, I
but
The
do
huddles
too.
are fun.
They're fun.
I
They're-
like it's good
They're
comedy, man.
Silly and a little corny, but that's kind of the whole point of the
Exactly.
game
whole point.
as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it adds a fun little moment of levity, and then if you get the right response and everyone gets hyped up and we're gonna go do it, and then the music kicks in, it's good stuff.
Who's the writing team behind Guardians? Is James Gunn involved at all, or what's
No, I don't know. I don't know who wrote it.
Yeah, I don't know if these people have
It's
like.
apparently quite clever, right? I mean,
Did it?
it's
Oh
a
no,
good-
it's
Yeah, it is.
it's very clever, and I
Did
mean,
they tap into comic book people? I wonder.
oh, that
Yeah,
maybe.
that's a good question.
Well, the thing is, too, I mean, like we've talked about it on the show, is they are constantly talking, just
Constantly.
nonstop. It's very rare to have a moment of silence where you're just running around and some of the Guardians are just chatting with each other or making quips or and then if you go off the critical path to
Right.
see if you can find some secret items or some of the pieces
Cosmetics.
to
Resources.
the resources. That's
Yeah.
the word I was looking for. Thank you. To improve your skills and stuff like that, they'll start making quips. Oh, Quill, where are you going? There's nothing down that way. Or I'm just doing some scouting. Wanted to get a lay of the land, see what we're up against, and things like that. So there's all sorts of just nonstop cute dialogue and.
That sounds That sounds really, really awesome. That's
Yeah.
another. I hate to keep. I gave damning with faint praise. I hate to keep knocking on Maiden of Black Water, but there's a ton of reading to do.
Oh yeah.
Every
Oh,
other,
no.
every other every other thing is here's the suicide note, and
Oh
here's
yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing for the other thing, and it'd be fine, but the font is almost illegible.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, it's like
That's
it's
too
written on
bad.
this really scratched up, janky old paper, and it's just really hard to see. So yeah.
Hmm.
I'm
But
looking
it's still a
forward
great game.
to playing that. I got it through a giveaway. I got Guardians of the Galaxy and Fatal Frame through a giveaway
Oh,
from
really?
from
Wow.
Major Nelson. So like
Wow.
it was
Look at
it was a
you.
really one of those weekly Twitter giveaways, and
Yeah.
I'm telling myself to finish Guardians of the Galaxy first before I jump into Fatal Frame because
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. But man, I cannot wait to be playing Fatal Frame with as dark of a game as those typically are on a nice OLED. Like,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to read it. You're gonna be able to read it. It's not a
Yep.
font size problem. It's big enough. It's just faint.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Really, really faint. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're gonna have some mood whiplash though, going from Guardians to
Oh,
Fatal Frame.
definitely.
I'm good with
Yeah.
that. I'm good with that.
Definitely.
I do want to ask Phil and CJ. You guys have been finishing up Guardians of the Galaxy, and
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but every once in a while, like for whatever reason, when I've been playing through some of the fights,
Mhm.
and I get the opportunity to do a huddle, I've been holding off on it because for whatever reason, the music that they picked for the normal battles and stuff is actually been really, really good, and it's like it's got a
Yeah.
good beat, it's got a good bass, and I'm like getting into it, and then I'm like, oh, I could huddle, I could really use it, but I don't want to change the music to something like soft and it like I'm in it. Have you guys
Yeah.
run into that at all?
Yeah, I mean, the music is top notch. You're absolutely right. Like the battles always feel super energetic just because that music is kicking in there and pumping. And once you get that flow of directing everyone and then getting your thing in, it does. It feels very cinematic and very exciting. But I've never hesitated pulling the triggers on the huddles just because
No,
I mean,
especially later in the game,
the
that
boost
meter
really
charges
help.
up pretty fast.
The
Okay.
boosts help and then you start getting the licensed music will kick in, which is
It is always funny when you go into the huddle and then the song that plays when you get out is "Don't Worry, Be Happy," and it's just like,
or every now and again I'll get Never Gonna Give You Up,
oh yeah,
which is always amusing too. So
That's one of the things. Like I was in the heat of a battle. It was great, and then as soon as I got it, I was like, "Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down." And I was like, "Okay, so we're bringing this mood in. All right, well, we'll just finish this."
Well,
one
the
up.
other thing you can do is you can change it to stream remote only, and then it only plays songs off the Star-Lord album.
Oh, interesting.
After the huddle,
really?
So
Ooh,
interesting. Okay,
I might give that a whirl.
if you want to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ah,
All right, Phil.
yes.
What games have you been playing, sir?
Well, we're talking about Guardians. I finished it.
We are.
Finished.
Hey, I did too.
I finished
Finished
Guardians.
it.
So I'll go ahead and just talk about the ending. I'll spoil the ending for everyone here right now. I can't help
I've
it.
got a couple screenshots on my phone from the ending.
Oh,
Share those right now.
No, I wait. Well, we'll save our comment because Seward, of course, he was the first out of us to finish the game, so he'd been waiting on CJ and I.
Yeah.
So we'll hold off and do the spoiler chat next week. But it's a great game. Holy
It is a
cow!
great
The
game.
whole end sequence is really good, and yeah, it's definitely on the short list.
I really hope this game sells well enough for them to do a sequel because it is a big budget AAA game and it's a license.
Yep.
And it has to do well for them to do another one. And I
indeed.
not only do I like the gameplay, but I think the cast is so spot on. Like the voices are great in this game. The writing's great in this game. Like after playing it, I was like, I would watch a Guardians of the Galaxy CG
Oh yeah,
TV series with
Yep.
this cast. Like, go
Absolutely.
ahead, just do that, and
absolutely.
I'll be all in.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. It's
so good.
It's really good. The characters are all really well done. There's some really good story beats. Every character, once you kind of get into that back half of the game, all the Guardians get their own little kind of story beat where you get some of their background, and
Yep.
there's some kind of emotional scenes.
Yep.
And yeah, it's really good. The resolution's fantastic. So
It is.
and yeah, it's a quality game. There's one moment in particular, and I'm not gonna say anything because it's so good, but there's one moment, CJ, and maybe you'll know what I'm talking about, during one of the later game boss fights, and it involves your Walkman, and
Yes,
the
I
action
know
kind of
exactly what you're talking
slows
about.
down, and it's just it encapsulates the tone and spirit of that game
Yes,
so perfectly.
yes.
There's just one little cinematic moment
Yep.
where it's just like, yeah, this is what this is all about.
I took a screenshot of that moment and I
Yeah.
sent it to Greg, and he's like, I took that exact same screenshot.
I got caught, because I was so caught up in that moment where it happened, and I was like, "Oh crap! No, I want to get a screenshot of it." And I
Where's the button?
I missed it, but I saved the little video clip of that scene. And is there a way to snap a screenshot
I
from a
don't
video
think
clip?
so.
See,
wait.
Well, I'm playing on
You played
on
it on PlayStation. Oh,
Playing on
so then
PlayStation.
yes,
Okay,
I think there is.
because I need to.
I was going to say I'm playing it on Xbox, and
Yeah.
there is not,
because
really
I know
a good way.
on Switch it's very easy, because if you have a video clip on Switch and you play it back, you can just pause, and then there's a button that just says save as screenshot.
Yeah, I think PlayStation has good controls for that too.
Okay,
so.
I'll have to go back and tinker with that, but yeah, it's
well, and we finished the game like right as the ray tracing update came out for the new consoles. Not that I'm complaining about the visuals at all.
No, it's a nice looking game. Although I have I'm kind of toying with going back and doing the new game plus with it.
I'm thinking about that too.
Just because I want to
good. It's that
see
good.
It really is. It really is.
I gotta get it. Well, it's on sale.
Yeah,
it's cheap.
It's
for Black Friday.
It's getting some Black Friday sales. It's like what, $30 on most places.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
which is half of what I paid, and
I don't regret paying full price.
Well,
for this
that's
game.
the thing too. It's like, yeah, I paid
so good.
Well, was it $70? Because I got the PS5 version, so it might have been.
I
$70.
almost wish that I'd bought the collector's, like the $10 extra version. It's only cosmetics.
Yeah, it's
still.
But I think it's like, it's not even like exclusive cosmetics, right? It's more like early
unlocks.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't really mess with the alternate costumes anyway, so
I didn't either.
Yeah, so I'm not too broken up about it, but
Phil,
yeah,
do you know?
It's great. What do I know?
With the PS5 version, do you know if that covers like the PS? Like if I were to have like the PS5 copy, would you be able to play that on the PS4 or 4 as well?
I don't think so.
I do not know. I mean, if CJ is saying no, maybe not.
I don't think so.
I
don't.
Well,
he's an Xbox
I don't think
shell.
PlayStation is as
true.
good at smart delivery as the Xbox side is with those upgrades. So I don't know.
Uh-oh. I think there's something going on upstairs.
But
what else have I been playing? Oh, you know what? I didn't put this on the list just because I haven't played it a whole lot, but we broke down and got the family Switch online pass, because Finn started expressing some interest in the Animal Crossing DLC and diving back into our town, so we picked that up. So I was I messed around with it a very little bit. He's been playing it more than I have, but we went around to one of those islands and I found Brewster. So he's he's opened up his coffee shop in our museum and that sort of thing. So yeah, they did add a lot of content to Animal Crossing. The only other thing I've really been playing, and I've just kind of started it, is I was just messing around with it because I'm back on. I have Apple Arcade again. You know,
How'd that happen, Phil?
Well, you know what? I got an Apple Watch.
Oh, right.
Recently, and I wanted to subscribe to their little was it the fitness Apple
thing, the Fitness
Plus thing? Yeah. And then I realized, I was like, well, I got Apple TV and we have Apple Music, so I was like, I guess it's kind of cheaper now for me to just get the whatever they call that big bundle.
Yeah, the one Apple
One.
Yeah, where you get basically access to everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I have Apple Arcade again.
It's good because there is some stuff worth playing.
Oh yeah, there are some very good games on Apple Arcade. Absolutely.
Does it turn your watch into a VMU a la Dreamcast style?
That's not that good.
Oh, if only.
Yeah,
well,
really.
then you don't have my money, dead Steve Jobs.
But yeah, it's they just came out with an Apple Arcade exclusive. It's a Lego Star Wars game.
Oh my goodness.
It's called Lego Star Wars Castaways.
Wait, this sounds like a pirate game too.
And don't get too excited. My Sea of Thieves playing friends.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing to do with the high seas. But it's an Apple Arcade exclusive. I am playing it on because I have Apple TV. So I have it on Apple TV, and I for the first time I synced up. I dug out one of my DualShock 4s because you can sync those to your Apple TV.
Yeah.
So I was just playing it on there, and it is a kind of top down, sort of isometric-y kind of point of view. It's kind of Diablo-ish. It's got the little bit I've played. I'm still kind of in the tutorial levels. It feels like a little kind of Diablo for kids, which is kind of what Skylanders was like.
Okay.
You know, it's that kind of thing where you're just kind of going through little maze-like levels. But yeah, it's got multiplayer kind of stuff in there. So, there's other players just kind of running around levels, and you can form up teams and go into
are these live players?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's you can like when I was in the little hub world, I mean, like I said, I'm still in the tutorial stages, but there are other live people running around. Unless it's faked, unless it's bots made to look like real people. I don't know, but it is one of those things where you're encouraged to kind of make a little team and have your buddies come in, and you all run through the levels. I think it's 4 people on a squad can go through classic Star Wars scenarios and just shoot stormtroopers and such. So it seems cute. So
cool. All right.
You haven't talked about how beautiful this looks. Like, I've been watching the trailer while you're talking about it. This game looks great.
It's a nice looking game. It really is. So like I've only done like the first 2 tutorial stages, and it seems like a fun little. I mean, for freebie Apple Arcade game,
right?
Seems like it could be kind of cute. I'm just delighted that I'm playing it with a PlayStation controller through my Apple TV device, just because it's weird.
That's kind of neat. Now you can't do that with a Switch controller.
I don't
think you can pair a Switch controller to an Apple.
You can pair Xbox controllers.
Yeah, okay. Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah,
Xbox and PlayStations will work. And I mean, obviously, if you have like you can play it on your iPad or phone if you wanted to as well. But
All right.
Like Captain Logan was saying, it's a nice looking game. So if you can get it on your TV, get it on your TV.
And there's a possibility. I mean, a lot of Apple Arcade exclusives come to other platforms.
That is
later,
true.
so it's possible
Yeah.
it'll come out on Switch.
Yeah, it might at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like Grindstone came out.
that's very
You know?
true.
So
Yeah.
True enough. True
yeah,
enough.
yeah. But that's it's really all I've mostly. Yeah, the bulk of my week was spent finishing up Guardians, and
Yeah.
I was playing a little bit of a work related game. There was some
I see.
some work
kind
game
of
came out this week or
small
something like
small
that. I don't
release
know what
indie game.
Played a little bit of that.
Love those indie titles.
Played a little bit of that too, but you know,
Real
Right.
retro
Right.
feel.
yeah. But that's really
All
been
right.
it for me.
All right.
What about you, Siggity J?
Well, I finished Guardians of the Galaxy as we
Good
just
lad.
talked about.
Yeah.
Fantastic, so good. Anyway, I watched the credits all the way through too. There's a button you can hold down to fast forward, and I just did that all throughout. the credits.
Oh, did you really?
Just kind of.
I did.
know.
Well, you know what? It's set up. It's set up. They're doing the MCU thing. When you finish the game, you have like the really nice kind of cinematic, stylish and end credit sequence,
Credits.
and then it goes into. Was there a like mid credit scene?
Yes.
Yeah, because you have just like the MCU stuff. And then after the little mid credit scene, then it brings up the standard scrolling list of names,
Yeah.
which you can skip or fast forward through. Yeah.
Fast forward very slowly. It did not.
Oh, really?
It did not
Yeah, see,
speed it up very much.
I skipped once they stopped doing the cute credits. I skipped it. But
Okay.
hey, real quick, speaking of, I watched Shang-Chi now that it's on the old Disney Plus,
Mhm.
which I really liked, by the way.
Really good.
That's a really fun movie. But I was delighted. I haven't watched a Marvel movie on the Disney Plus just because I have them all on iTunes and everything.
Mhm.
But they have a feature on Disney Plus where you can skip credits, and it'll skip right to it's like the old Netflix skip intro button. But yeah, once you go through the kind of cutesy credits and you get the little mid-credit scene, then a little button pops up that says skip credits, and it'll take you right to the post-credit scene that you have in all
that's
those Marvel
cool.
movies. So I was like, that's a smart feature. So anyway.
they know what they're doing there.
They
at
do.
Disney Plus.
Yeah. Someone at Disney thought this through before they did it. So
You'll love to see it because
Yeah.
so many other streaming services don't do that.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah.
You know what else they should do? Like something else that Disney Plus does that I don't think I've seen other companies do nearly as much. Every single one of their like movies and stuff, they've hired a team to go through and do audio description for their films.
Oh,
And
okay.
Listening to there's been things in Marvel movies that I never picked up on, but when I'm at work and all I can do is listen, I can't watch anything because obviously they want me to be working. Having the audio description there is surprisingly good. Like,
that's
getting a full scope of what's going on. It's done such a good job with that. So yeah, would love to see that from other services.
The because I played Guardians the game, I played that with the subtitles on, just because it's one of those games where you're walking around and there's a lot of kind of background characters talking and you can't always hear their conversations, so I just turned it on so I could see them. And even that was there was some kind of cute gags in that too, where the llama would start bleeding at some point and the subtitles would have kind of a humorous description of
that's good.
Inquisitive llama noises, stuff like that to describe how it's talking. So.
Bleating. Okay.
Bleeding.
Bleeding.
Not bleeding.
Lots of bleeding.
Bleating.
This made me think of Monty Python. The people responsible for the bleeding llama have been sacked.
Oh no, that's like a Jeff Minter style bleat.
Got it.
Yes.
Yes.
Bleat.
Yes. Bleating.
Bleat and bleed.
Yes. That's my Midwest accent coming through there.
How dare you?
Well, I've been playing Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Yeah.
as well. I'm terrible at it, but the game does a pretty good job of hiding your own failure from you if you don't want to see it. Like it's off on a tab. Like you don't have to compare yourself to your other teammates unless you like tab over to that tab
Okay.
and look, which I really like because then I don't have to be confronted by my own failures, and that's handy.
At least not in the game.
At least not in the game. You're
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Everyday reality, yes.
Yeah. No, we all deal with that.
Were you
I'll deal with
proficient at one time, CJ, on Halo?
I don't
Back
think
when
so.
you guys were
Never
playing
really.
because you were playing in the office all the time, right?
Yeah, we played a hell of a lot of Halo 1 back in the Sendai Ziff Davis days. I guess it was Ziff at that time. But yeah, we would play 16-player deathmatch on
Fully networked.
Blood
Yep.
Gulch all the time.
Oh, the Gulch.
So-
That's the only place to
Oh.
play.
It's so good. But see, the difference now is you're playing with people who might have mouse and keyboard. You're playing against people who have like a different.
True. That's true.
Not everybody's on Dukes. So
Yeah.
Well,
suddenly,
right. And doesn't Microsoft have that proprietary new controller that's like got 18 different ways to customize, and
yeah, but that by itself, I don't think is
that wouldn't give you the
enough.
competitive edge?
No, it wouldn't. I don't think.
I'm gonna interject right now and say I've been watching the qualifiers for the esports for Halo for Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
They're all on controller. They're
Oh, really?
all on
Okay,
controller.
interesting.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
there's in watching them play too, like it is very slight movements. Like they're mostly using the L stick to move the cursor as opposed to the right stick to move where you're looking. Like it's
Interesting, huh?
a lot of players are sticking more to control. Even some of the top streamers that would typically be on like mouse and keyboard are all on controller because the aim assist is good enough.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm really enjoying it, and I went through the Academy tutorial that they got in there, and they've also got weapon drills, so you can go in there and practice with every weapon, and they have 3 levels of trial with that. So like enemies that are just standing there doing nothing, and then you have like enemies moving back and forth, and then enemies like moving back and forth and ducking up and down behind cover. So it's really I love that feature because I don't know like half the weapons that are in Halo Infinite, but you can go in and practice and really get a feel for them. So that's been nice. And then we got a group of listeners of Player One, and then a bunch of people from the Keel Hall podcast Discord together on Friday night, and we were just playing Big Team Battle like
That
for
sounds awesome.
3 hours, and
That's where it's at.
it was great. We had like a party of 11 people just going
Nice.
between games, and it was pretty fantastic. Like the today when we played, it was mostly Team Slayer. But on Friday when we played, we actually had some objective games and some CTF games. There's a game where you have to collect power seeds and then bring them back to your base and hook them in. And I don't know if on Friday it was just that a lot of people didn't know how to play, but we were pretty much dominating this power seed game type because other people would be on other sides of the map or whatever, and we'd just be like running to the seeds, getting the seeds, bringing it back to our base. Pretty fantastic. I like the game types where you don't have to rely on just killing people to progress, because I'm not too good at that really, but I'm good at defending the flag. Like anytime we play CTF, I usually like hang back and guard the flag instead of going out. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And today actually I played mostly on xCloud. Instead of my local PC, because you have to install Halo Infinite and I'm running out of space on my PC. So I decided to play over xCloud, and it was perfect. It worked really well. I couldn't distinguish between playing locally and playing on the cloud. So I think that was great. I think if I was more into Halo and more into the nuance of the control there, I would notice it, but I didn't because I'm just not attuned to that.
No.
If I play Sea of Thieves on cloud, I can definitely tell the difference, and I think it's just a matter of being tuned to that game versus Halo. But pretty cool.
I saw an incredibly depressing tweet that somebody sent out, and I screen captured it, and it was like a young person saying, "Why is everyone twerking over my dead body
Oh,
Just
right.
after
that,
I
yeah.
get killed on Halo?" I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah. Yeah,
My
people
my
don't
mummy
know what
bones
teabagging
rotted and
is.
turned to dust. Exactly. Why am I getting twerked on? Oh no!
That's 2021's Why Can't Metroid Crawl? Yeah. But then I played The Forgotten City on cloud as well. And this is a game that I've wanted to try for a while, but just never wanted to install anything on the Xbox. So this is a game that it's a narrative game that deals with a hidden city in Rome. And their law is that they live by the golden rule that there can be no sin in this place. And the problem is that you are a traveler from the future who has seen what happens to this city. They all die horribly. And you come back and you basically have to prevent that from happening. So it's a time loop game where you are having conversations with NPCs and gathering information to prevent whatever sin is going to happen and destroy them all from happening. So it's kind of a really interesting narrative game there. And I just started the game, so I haven't gone through the initial. I've gone through the initial time loop, but I haven't played much further. But it's just a really interesting game, really well written. There's a Karen joke in like the first 5 minutes of the game where felt very timely suddenly.
Is this the new Bill Clinton joke from the Lunar series?
Something like that. Yeah. But you are hiking in Rome, and this woman finds your body washed down the river apparently, and she like wakes you up. And you don't know how you got there or whatever, and you ask her name, and she's hesitant to tell you.
Yeah.
And then she finally when you press her on it, she says, "Oh, okay, fine. My name's Karen. I just didn't want to say that." And then it makes a joke about that name.
Such a weird opening.
Not all Karens.
It's just an interesting bit of writing in this narrative game to suddenly have that. But
what did you do that was your first sin? Because you said you went through the loop.
I didn't go I haven't gone all the way through the loop yet. I've just basically gotten the setup for the game, and I'm supposed to go investigate now.
Oh, so you haven't sinned yet?
No, I don't think I'm going to be doing the sinning. I have to prevent other people.
You can sin.
Well, you can sin, yes. In the dialogue, you can lie, which is a sin. That's part of the sins, right?
Well, I don't want to spoil it then, because I've sinned.
Oh no!
And it freaked me out the first time because it's just panic mode engaged. And then it's either game over or you finish the loop and you restart the loop at that point. But yeah,
interesting.
It's an interesting game because when you get into Rome, like you're walking around and people are introducing yourselves and they're like, "Oh, you're wearing weird clothes," and then you start going by all these big statues and they start looking at you and whispering, and you're like, "Okay, what happened here?"
Strange.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a weird game. But yeah, you can totally sin, and I don't recommend it if you can prevent it.
I have refrained from sinning in the game. I did not lie in some of the conversations that I've had so far, and that counts as a sin. So I'm going to continue playing.
Well, if I know CJ, it's going to end up being lust.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Does a Pet Shop Boy start blaring as soon as you do it?
It should.
That's what I want. Yeah.
But so I've been
call a huddle and you try and get your team to commit to a sin. You bring everyone in.
They clap and they're like, "Yeah,
let's do it. Let's go covet our neighbor's wife."
Sounds like a plan. She's very covetable. Covet.
Look, I know we've been
COVID. It's pronounced COVID.
We've been being very chaste out there, guys. But I know if we lust ourselves up, we can bring ourselves together and really get down on this. Oh, you got it, Peter. Let's go. All right.
It's exactly how it would be. Yes. Yes.
Guys, it's Friday. Let's eat meat.
All right. So I've been playing Animal Crossing as well.
Okay.
And
What kind of
enjoying...
sins can you do that in a new update?
You can do plenty of sins.
Well, you know what? Gluttony. Because you can start making recipes and stuff now. So
yeah, they got food in Animal Crossing. Now you can make food.
You know what? Because you can like you catch the sea bass now and you can cook them.
Yeah,
which that starts raising questions now that you live on an island full of animal villagers. You know, uncomfortable truths suddenly. It's like
someone magically moved out. They were that pig down the way up and left. Took the captain's boat. Never heard from her again.
Are we going to Animal Farm Crossing? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yes.
2 legs good, 4 legs bad.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Some animals are equal, or all animals are equal.
Some are more equal than others.
Some a little more equal than others. That's the trick.
That's right.
At the crossing there, man.
Gotta watch out at that barbecue.
We're having a luau down at the beach. Everyone's welcome. Especially Brewster.
Especially Brewster.
Oh, yeah, it's a special event. We're all taking baths in barbecue sauce before we come. So you should.
That's right.
You might want to.
I call it brazing.
Marinate yourself for a couple hours before you come to the celebration down on the beach.
No sweet baby Rays, Brewster.
Tom Nook turns a blind eye while he charges tickets. Tom, what are you doing? What? I didn't. Seems fine to me. Get more villagers in here. Get more debt. It's a Potsy scheme or something.
I've been making vacation homes with my daughter. Okay. My daughter has been consulting on my vacation homes now.
Yeah.
And I let her do a couple of them as well, because you can design infinite homes in this happy home paradise. You don't have to worry about overwriting a place on one of the islands or whatever, and you can always go back and redesign things. So I let her do some things as well, and she was having a lot of fun with it, and we were having fun kind of designing together, putting things in these houses. So I'm still playing that, having a lot of fun with it. That Happy Home Paradise thing really does feel like a separate game from Animal Crossing, but it brings a lot of the stuff that you do in there back into the full game as well. And I started redesigning one of my rooms in my house, because of course I did what other Animal Crossing players were doing, and it's like expand your house every single time you get that chance, right? Like I was playing that stock market in order to get home expansions, and then I didn't really have enough like items to really like deck out my house. So now that I am kind of back into it, I'm putting together some rooms with some more thought into how they are designed. Okay. So going back into it, it's been fun.
That's interesting that you say it's very much like a separate game, because it sounds to me like it's sort of reverse engineering The Sims. Like The Sims came from a house building thing.
Yeah.
And they put the little people in there as placeholders, and then Will Wright was like, this is way more fun messing with these people than building the house.
Yeah.
Cooking them.
So like, cooking them and sticking them out on the street until they turn into an urn. Yeah. That kind of thing.
You got to give the roast pork dish to the pig that's in your town.
I do wonder though, do you think there's a chance for some sort of breakout different style of Animal Crossing game to come through from this evolution?
Well, isn't this new bit kind of like, what was it, the 3DS Happy Home Designer?
Happy Home Designer. Yeah.
So this
which was basically this. It's building this into the main game. It's building that expansion into the main game.
Yeah, so they kind of are doing the reverse of that, where it was like they already had this Happy Home Designer as sort of a separate game on the 3DS, and they're just sort of bringing it into the main
Huh.
game now. Yeah.
It's a much better fit for that. Although I wish you could boot directly into the Happy Home Paradise part of the game
No, okay. Yeah.
instead
What do
of
you
having
do?
to go to your house first.
You have to go to your.
Can't do that.
So how does that? Because I haven't checked it out at all. Do you get like the full catalog of items, or is it just whatever you've unlocked?
Well, you go and because you start up the game normal, but then you go to the airport, right?
You go
And
to the
basically
airport and
say-
they fly you to Happy Home Paradise.
right?
Ah.
And then while you're there, when you're designing houses, you have a catalog of items that you can choose from that are like things you can order through the Happy Home Paradise through your work, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
But you're not limited to stuff you've unlocked in the main game.
No, you're not.
Good.
And
That's
then
cool.
you can buy some of those items. The home designing company has like a store inside, and you can buy some of those items and bring them back into the regular game
Oh,
to use.
that's good.
No.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And then I've been playing a little game called Pokemon Shining Pearl.
I never heard of it.
Okay, what?
Pokemon Shining Pearl. So yeah, Diamond and Pearl got remakes on the Switch. DS games originally. And I think a lot of people have been down on this, but like the remake style here with the super deformed characters and the very cutesy art style, I kind of love it. And I've been having a lot of fun. I'm not too far into the game. I'm only at Orberg, which is like the second or third town in the game. But I am really enjoying it. I like all of the sort of modern conveniences that have been brought to the Pokemon series, like the experience share thing. I know that's a very like touchy topic amongst some of the fan base that don't like that item. I, as a casual Pokemon fan, happen to love that item.
Yeah,
and its
that's
existence.
a huge, very important.
Yeah, I mean, it cuts down the time that I have to like grind out the game.
Mhm.
Really,
Yeah.
and I'm totally fine with that.
How many of the
Experience
games in that series have you beat, CJ?
Oh, not many. Probably just a handful. I did beat X and Y, and then I beat Sword and Shield.
Okay.
And I don't know how many others that I've actually finished the game. I usually play up to the point of like the final gym or the Elite Four, and then kind of stop at that
grinding to
point.
get- oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but you know, I assume since this is on the Switch and it's easy to play off the television, I'll finish this one as well. So, we'll see.
I think
We'll
I'll
see.
have to pick this up too. Which one would you recommend?
Which of the
There are big-
versions?
Yeah, is there a big difference?
There is
your
no
opinion?
difference really in gameplay. The only difference is what
final elite
monsters
critter?
are
Yeah, there's just a
in
couple
there, what
different
critters
ones,
are in there, and the legendaries and such that are
Uh-huh.
available in each. But you'll probably get Diamond because that's the more popular one.
Yeah.
But
I think I had Pearl for the original. I think I still have Pearl.
back
It's
in
a
the
DS
day,
game, right?
it is a
Yeah.
DS game. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Pearl. Silver was the last one I beat. That's how.
Oh,
old I
man.
am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or how not playing enough Pokemon I am really.
Been quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I've played a bunch of them. I've
Hmm.
played X and Y, and I played Black and White. Black and White had me stuck real early. I only got about 3 hours. of
Yeah.
that one.
I did
Yeah.
not finish Black, White, or Black 2 and White 2.
No, I
Not
even
finished the rest.
have Sun and Moon. I have Moon,
Mm.
which is a beautiful game, but I just haven't put
Oh
any
yeah,
time
it really
into
is. Yeah.
Haven't put any time into it.
Yeah. But I really like the art style here, and the cutscenes are all really fun, kind of zoomed into the super deformed characters, and it's kind of a nice casual breath of fresh air between Halo and Guardians of the Galaxy to play this sort of light RPG. So
Mhm.
really quite enjoying it. And Logan, I know you were a Pokemon guy as well.
Yeah, I haven't
picked-
jumped into this one yet though.
Okay.
I beat Sword and Shield. Really love that game. I thought they did a great job with the open worlds and stuff, and
Yeah.
never got too deep into the end game for it. But it looks a lot like the Link's Awakening style, and I don't know why
Yeah.
so many folks were kind of adverse to it. I mean, it's
I know.
those games look exactly like what an up-res version of the DS games should look like, and I actually really like it. I think it's adorable. So I'm waiting for an opportunity when I know I'll have some time to jump into this. Like I've been playing a lot more Animal Crossing, and still trying to finish Dread on my Switch, but most of that time is all like relegated to when I'm at work on breaks and stuff. So it's like when I finish Dread and I finish kind of playing around with the newer stuff in Animal Crossing, that's probably when I'll jump into probably Pearl, because I know a lot of people have been jumping onto Diamond and stuff. So community.
Is it wrong when you said Dread? My mind went to the movie Dread.
I
did think about that for a second.
Excellent
That's an
movie.
awesome movie.
It is.
I love it.
It's so funny that people are still up in arms about the art style. All I had to do is look back to Wind Waker. Like that's Nintendo's strong suit. They go for the cutesy because it ages well.
But you know, at the time with Wind Waker, people did not like that. There was a whole thing. People called that Zelda, and they did not like it.
Well, they saw that preview.
Yeah.
That, you know, and Phil was talking about, he just discovered that cartridge, a DS cartridge that has that preview on it.
Well,
it's not that one.
cool.
It's Twilight Princess.
Yeah, the DS one. Yeah, that's the Twilight Princess.
Oh no. But what was the one with the preview for the GameCube one that never happened?
That was that it? Yeah, that was the Space
World
one.
Space World video. Yeah,
right. So it's just but I mean, that drove people nuts that they got. They didn't get that. They were, where's my angry earring wearing Link? Yeah.
I loved that though. In that video, when they showed that video, I was like, "This is amazing!" Like, so emotive. Like, it's
so cool.
Yeah. It did look beautiful, but there's room for both to exist. That's the thing. But they clearly made the right call, because now everybody's clamoring for Wind Waker on Switch.
Yeah. When is that going to happen?
Yeah, God, that would be nice.
They still there's rumors of more 35th anniversary stuff.
Get out of here with your rumors.
I
want none of your rumors, sir.
I'm telling you, that's what they said. They said that one, and what was the other title that they were talking about? That one for sure.
I want to be able to play Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on
Switch.
On Switch.
Those are the ones that are being.
I mean, those got remade on Wii U.
Yeah,
right.
I just want to be able to play them.
Yeah, they're great on Wii U. I finished both of those games on Wii U. Yeah.
Siege with Pearl and Diamond coming out now, are you still going to be picking up Pokemon Legends when that comes out?
Oh yeah, I'll pick it up. Yeah. In fact, what is it? Recently, there was confirmation that the gameplay on that is going to be more like Monster Hunter, and I'm really interested in how that game style applies to Pokemon. So in terms of, you go out on specific missions in specific areas, it's not an open world Breath of the Wild type thing like so many people thought, and I'm kind of excited to see how that develops. And I like the art style. I mean, I know a lot of people are down on that one too,
right?
For whatever reason, but the franchise is so big, it just kind of attracts that kind of
sure
criticism, I think. But I'm in for it.
The parallels between like diehard Halo fans and diehard Pokemon fans is very, very close. A lot of people very picky about their past franchises and what
people have the same problems.
I think it's a thing too, where people grew up with a vision of what a Pokemon game is, and then they got older and started liking other types of games that are more advanced or offered more options. And then when a new Pokemon game comes out that doesn't do that, they get upset, because it's like, why aren't you aging up with me?
Why did you grow up with me? I'm tired of babies being able to play this game.
But it's important to remember that for every Pokemon game that comes out, it's going to be somebody's very first Pokemon game. So you can't forget about that.
You can't mess up with and it's, if it ain't broke, man, that formula works. I'm desperate for them to put the trading card game back into a digital format again, besides the PC online.
I'm sure
stuff.
they will.
You say that. It's been decades.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Is that not on Switch?
Card game?
No, I don't think so. But it's on PC, and in fact, I think they just announced something to that effect.
Yeah. Now I have the old card game on my DS. You know,
Yeah.
That's what it was.
The old re-release, but it's
Yeah.
it's the classic. It's not the. But then I don't play the online. Maybe that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Alrighty. Well, that is all I've been playing. So I think it is time for tweets. I think we have some time for tweets, right?
Do we?
Time,
We're at like
time for tweets.
we're
Maybe
we're
like-
over we're over 2 hours.
We are way over.
Yeah.
It's a meaty episode.
But we'll do
Tweedly-doodly.
one. We'll do one.
Tweet
We'll do one.
tweet.
Look at that.
There we go.
Wow, the fast version.
Yeah.
That's how we get it
Damn.
fast.
All right. We got an email from listener Tom who asks, "Hi, you guys have mentioned Godzilla recently a bit, so I was wondering, what is your favorite and least favorite Godzilla movies, and what are your favorite Godzilla designs?"
Oh man.
So I thought this would be a good one for us all to do.
Oh jeez. Well, who's
I know
starting?
nothing really about Godzilla, so
Really?
My buddy and me, when I was living in LA very briefly in 2000, went to go see Godzilla 2000 in a theater.
yeah, nice.
That's not my favorite Godzilla movie by any means. Not
Yeah,
very-
I did see
not
that in
very
the theater.
good.
I was delighted to see that in the theater though.
It was
back
great to
when
see
that
it in the
first came
theater,
out.
yeah, but it was
Yeah.
kind of like it was not the greatest, but it's all right.
Right.
But when you watch all the Godzilla movies,
Mhm.
you start to go like, oh, yeah, Godzilla 2000 is pretty much just middle of the road Godzilla movie.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
not. It didn't deviate from the thing. Well, what's your favorite, Phil?
I mean, my favorite is it's Shin Godzilla.
I was going to say, there's no question. Shin's
Yeah,
it,
Shin Godzilla.
especially Neon Genesis Evangelion freak like I am.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
it's such a good movie, and it's so kind of the political satire
Yes.
of it is so relevant and
Oh man.
just it hits really hard, and it is it's a tense movie. I mean, it works really well as satire, but it also works really well as being a very tense movie. The Godzilla is the actual creature is pretty scary. It's
Those first forms are terrifying.
well,
Those
that's
are
the
even
thing.
scarier.
That's the thing. It's such a bonkers kind of design. Those early designs, and I'm looking at them. I have the
You got the toy version?
the toys of the three main forms you see in the movie, and then when he does opens up his mouth all the way for the big kind of destruction scene. But those early kind of pre-evolved forms of him are simultaneously just stupid and goofy looking, but also kind of unnerving looking, because you have all those like gills that are just squirting out blood and just really bonkers design.
It's so good.
But it's such a good design.
It does for bureaucracy what the original Gojira did for nuclear power.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, it's a terrifying looking design.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like the more kind of traditional Godzilla stuff, I really like Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All Out Attack, which has an outstanding title, of course, but it's a legitimately good monster movie. It's one of the better of the kind of classic Godzilla movies. And then the original, of course, is also really good in that kind of
So what about least favorite? Least favorite. I mean, obviously the Roland Emmerich piece of
that doesn't even count.
Trash.
That's not a
right?
Godzilla movie. That's not a Godzilla movie. That's just some stupid crap. Yeah. Now I have a special place in my heart for the one with Jet Jaguar.
Oh yeah, that was that Megalon.
Yeah.
It's Godzilla versus Megalon. Yeah.
That's my kind of guilty pleasure Godzilla, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, because the story was that character was created by a kid in a contest who basically copied.
That's right.
He basically copied Ultraman.
Yeah.
It's like, put Ultraman in there. Okay, sure. He looks different enough.
Yeah.
Jaguar, great. And Godzuki's in that one too, isn't he?
Oh,
All right, well, it's Manila, because I think
Upside, yeah, right.
yeah, because I mean
Godzuki was,
they're
I remember from the cartoon.
yeah the old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, yeah. So it's
Uh-huh.
Manila technically, but
Right.
But
Thank you.
yeah.
See, yeah.
So yeah, I know a decent
I
amount.
loved it. He stepped on him to make him work. It was great.
Yep. Oh yeah, he stepped on his tail to like make him shoot the
Make him
fire
actually
breath or
shoot
whatever.
fire instead of
Yeah.
little smoke rings.
Yes. Because that was like kind of the Showa era of Godzilla movies where they were aiming a little. That's where Godzilla went from like allegory to nuclear destruction to just silly kids movie where
Godzilla's our friend.
Exactly, yeah, where they softened up his design and made him a little cuter, a little friendlier, a lot friendlier. And yeah,
a lot friendlier.
a lot
Yeah, I mean
friendlier.
that was the whole thing when I was growing up, but you too, with that cartoon, he was supposed to be helping people. I always thought it would be really funny to do a sketch where like somebody's like, "Oh man, I just can't get this piece of toast out of the machine today," and this hand just smashes through. Toaster gets turned upside down, shaken out. Exactly. The entire house is in shambles, but he's got his piece of toast. Thanks, Godzilla. Exactly. Like he's doing helpful things, but
slowly walks back into the ocean. Oh man. But yeah, I'm a sucker for the Godzilla stuff, and I tweeted about this the other day. I actually picked up one of the Ultraman series on Blu-ray.
Right, Ultra 7,
week.
Right?
I got Ultra 7, which is the third Ultraman series. But the second to actually feature what we kind of think of as Ultraman. The big robot and stuff like that, because the first of the I know very little about Ultraman, so I'm kind of learning about
he's
it.
He's not
now.
a robot. He's a man.
Right.
He's like Giant Man.
Yeah.
Ant-Man vibe.
Yeah. Like an alien as well. It's like an alien who kind of assumes the form of a human. I think. Like that. Yeah.
In some iterations, I think.
Yeah. And like
the original American hero, right? Like he got a suit. Yeah.
Yes.
And like the original series was called Ultra Q.
Yeah.
And like Ultraman's not even in that. It's just like it's almost like an X-Files kind of thing. Except they're dealing with like kaiju and stuff like that instead of
Ultra Q is fun.
Have you watched some of it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what prompted me. I was
there's I forget what is the name? Pluto TV.
Okay.
Has a channel that's all tokusatsu.
Is it
really?
Is it the Shout Factory
stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, well that's because I had I loaded up the Shout Factory app on the Apple TV earlier the week, and they have different channels. Like well it's the same channel, but
same ones that are in Pluto.
I just turned on the Tokusatsu channel and Ultra Q was on, so I ended up catching a good chunk of an episode of that. And I was like, this is actually pretty interesting. And you know what? If you have Tubi, there's that app.
Is it on Tubi as well?
Tubi has like all the Ultraman series on there.
Oh, I got to start watching it on
and
there.
And they have a lot of the Super Sentai stuff as well. The Power Rangers, but the original versions.
We could go on and on about this stuff for a couple
could.
more hours, but I think
good.
We probably should cut it off.
We gotta wrap this.
We did one tweet, and it was the Godzilla thing, and then it.
Now, see, that's your fault. You knew.
That's my fault. That's my
knew that I was going to go off on this, and Paul was probably going to follow suit. You should have.
Yeah, I do love me some Godzilla.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
Is
good
that
place
it?
to stop.
Are we stopping? Okay.
Let's stop.
Okay, let's stop it. let's stop.
All righty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com, where you will find our contact information. You will find blog entries about Sega CD stuff. You'll find episodes of Generation 16 as they happen. I know Greg is working diligently on an episode right now, and he's not on vacation at all or traveling. And also on our website, you can find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about, and a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
I'm going to say this too. On Netflix, they have that Godzilla Singular Point anime.
Right.
I really dug it. I really enjoyed that show.
good.
Yeah, it was a good show. If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio, on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast. If you've if you can watch us live. That's the next one. You can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, on the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions. Follow our Twitter account, which is @P1 Podcast, to find out when we're doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday nights at 5:30 specific time. So please join us then, won't you? If you like what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. Captain Logan has clued me in to some fancy ass soundboard that will.
Yeah.
Nope. There it is. There it is. Do it again.
Cheap.
Look at that. We could have Satan on every week. Every
I
week.
don't know if we want to give you that kind of
We
power.
absolutely want to give me that kind of power. So throw us your Patreon money, people. We will put it, I don't want to say to good use, but
To use.
to
It's
definite
a use,
use, to a use that will be amusing to at least me. So you know. Oh, absolutely. If you are a Patreon friend of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
see
Boom.
see how great that is. You do gain access to a special weekly bonus episode. We record it right after this. We play games, crack wise, have fun doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ, we are doing a bonus episode. Are we doing one?
We do have a Jeopardy, yeah.
We have a Jeopardy game. Oh,
We
are
have
you,
a Jeopardy game.
Captain Logan,
Yeah.
Paul, are you guys going to be able to stick around for this?
I'm here,
Oh,
baby.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
See, look at this. Boom.
Can't wait to lose.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a team thing, right? Will we do a team thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
do
do
a
a
team.
team.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys aren't going to want to miss this. So go get in on that, Patreon friends. So that should be very good. If you have a couple bucks left over, of course, head over to patreon.com/generation16 to help support Greg Seward's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Also cheap.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. I also do the weekly commute, which I do from the safety of my home because it's not safe to record. That's my Greg impression.
How did Greg
I can
get in
feel
here?
something
What's going
inside
on?
me say, I really don't think you're strong enough.
There it is.
I'm a Greg. No,
It's
that's,
always nice.
Share Greg.
So go support that fantastic. Yeah, Greg's show is actually quite good. So
Yeah.
go check that out. CJ,
Yeah.
thank you very
Thank
much. Of
You,
course,
Phil.
as always, and of course a big old thanks to our two wonderful guests. Of course, Captain Logan and Paul Mattingly. Captain Logan, tell everyone where they can find you on the internet.
Well, if you have any interest at all in pirating, whether it be, software, Taco Bell, Seas, gold, things like that. Or if you're just interested in Sea of Thieves, you can always find my content, my podcast, Keelhauled Podcast. It's a Sea of Thieves podcast dedicated to the pirates in the Rare universe who are out there just trying to have fun, trying to murder people and steal shinies. Because what is life without a little bit of murder, right? Especially when it's fun murder that doesn't have any consequences at all. You're immortal. It is essentially the Peter Pan complex that I live throughout my entire life. So yeah, look for Sea of Thieves content if you're looking for that. Keelhaul's there. I'm going to be building an Xbox podcast soon.
Oh,
so that's going to be something that's going to be kickstarting hopefully at the start of the year. I'm going to be doing a podcast of that. So I'll be find me on social media, Cap Logan, CAPTLOGUN. On Twitter if you want to find me there to follow some of that content there. But thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me on, CJ and Phil.
Of course.
Shame that I don't get to talk to Greg this week, but that's okay.
That's we call that a hidden benefit. So
yeah.
And Paul, let everyone know where we can find you.
You can find me at the famous Paul on the old Twitters and the what have you. And of course, Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social. Everything about our podcast is contained at heyscoops.com. Check out Hey Scoops for all your ridiculous Las Vegas entertainment, magician, comedy, nerd, dumb waste of time needs. Yeah. If you thought this podcast went on a little bit, oh boy, let me tell you. Let me tell you. This thing gets off the rails occasionally. There's not even a train on Ice Cream Social. So come join us for the madness.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
And of course, thank you to our wonderful, wonderful listeners. Every single one of you. Remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, your loved ones, your friends. Get shots, get masks, get your kids shots if they can get them now. My kid got his first one. He's all lined up for the second one. So it's all very exciting. And take care of yourselves, folks. And we hope to see you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Hearts and kisses.